All right, Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for July 13th to the 19th. All right, let's get an oracle first. And you know I dive into everything, including love and Aries through Pisces. So we have a great week. Oh, look at this. Such a curious dream. We have a great week this week. We have a new moon in Cancer. We have a Kazemi that's happening right now. And so it does bring some usually some huge clarity, or like wow, or even a dream. Sometimes it's just you wake up and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe how vivid my dream was, or I have the answer, like I just know. And or some big whammy when it comes to a call, a text, or some truth about a situation that you've been dealing with. Something's gonna arrive, but the thing is it's clearing something out too. You're getting the truth of a situation that's going to immediately, on the new moon in Cancer. It's like I get this reset, I get this second chance right away, right? So now I see such a curious dream returning to reality, coming home and grounded. So what's going on this week too is also bringing you back to reality. It's like if you've been playing around or dealing with something and it just seems like it's been fun, but now it's time to get my life together, or you're realizing something wasn't going as according to plan, or you just felt like you've been distracted, and now all of a sudden this week, especially with Virgo and Venus, it's like I want to see, show me the money, show me the money, show me the proof, show me the movement. Let's start to make decisions that are going to stand. That So pay attention to how people are showing up, and what they're doing, not what they're saying. All right. And this is everybody in general. So let's look at tarot for you. Let's see the energy and the main challenge for you this week. What to watch for in love and life. Ooh, this card just flew out. So the Chariot card. And this is the kind of energy too. It's like sporadic, fast, overcoming obstacles pretty quickly. So if an obstacle has been showing up for you in the past week or so, or even just this weekend, it's going to be short-lived, especially with the Chariot card. It's almost like you got to get through this passageway in order to move forward, and things should really be smooth sailing from here on out, because the Chariot card is saying, you just keep on staying focused on what it is that you're focused on, your goals, and you'll get through any kind of obstacle that people try throwing at you. And this is willpower. This is your drive. So this week, you may notice that you are just in full force. Where there's a will, there's a way. Nothing's going to stop me. If I can't do this now, I'm going to go do something else. And this is also reacting to your current situation, no matter what it is that you hear, right? It's also reacting from a place of taking higher ground and saying, you know what, I'm not going to let what I just heard. I received some information, some shit's going on at home, or, in my relationship, it seems like I'm dealing with some challenges. And you know what, I'm just going to let it roll. It's not going to stop me from my goals. And, it just keep on keeping on. Now, your biggest challenge you may face this week, Five of Pentacles. It's like you might be feeling like you're on your own. Maybe some of you are on your own. Returning, coming home, such a curious dream, returning to reality. You may have just heard some news, or, you may have just realized that, a situation, there's a problem you're dealing with in a love relationship. I'll pull a card, and there's really not much you can do, but it doesn't mean give up. It just means right now the challenge is going to be, it seems like maybe you are kind of facing reality and dealing with your own stuff for a minute. Maybe you're giving a break, a relationship a break. There could be some financial issues. There could be some health issues. I never manifest any major stuff. All right. That could be that could be coming up this week. But this card is saying to you, don't focus on everything, being dealt a raw hand, everything's going to turn out bad. The Chariot card is saying, no, you're dealing with just nuances this week, right? And really, it kind of feels at the beginning of the week. So in love, I see the King of Swords, right? So I do see that you could be dealing with somebody who's kind of detached, somebody here who takes their time to process their emotions, maybe pulls away, especially this energy here. You may be feeling like somebody's being silent or somebody has gone just completely cold. Now, King of Swords can be very, very, it seems very cold and detached at times, especially if they need time to really think about how they feel, right? You could be dealing with, questions of, are we moving forward? Are we going to decide what this relationship's about? If somebody's not given fully and you feel like you're given, can we get through this obstacle? Can we get through this, this challenge that we're dealing? Now, you may be dealing with somebody who is pretty challenging and you just can't, you don't know if you can trust everything that's being said. The Kadimi this week could be really, when it comes to love, highlighting the truth about a situation. All right. That's the kind of energy with the transits right now. But it gives you the new moon in Cancer, which says, all right, let's plant new seeds, let's see what else, if I have to face the truth about somebody, all right, maybe I do just need to take some time and come home to myself and see if I'm really getting what I want from this situation or if there's any improvements. Now, this person may contact you this week, or this could be somebody that you're still talking to, but it does feel like the biggest challenge for you is, getting them to support you fully. Right. Or to, renegotiating the plans. Like maybe you're feeling like you're doing almost everything. Now, I'm going to look at Aries through Pisces and we'll see what's going on here in a second. But let's look at life. I see the 10 of Cups, building a family, building a future, wanting the full picture, long term, wanting something real. All right. So it does feel like some of you are working really hard. This is where the Chariot is saying, I don't care what you're going through here. If this person's not going to get you to this is what's showing up for you right here. It's like if some of you are, dealing around with people that are, just nonsense, right? On your path, you're meant to, this is what you ultimately want, this blessing, this family, this relationship, this home. So this is where these reveals bring you this clarity, like, all right, I'm not getting, or I need to ask for what it is I want. It doesn't mean that this can't be your person, but it does say, I need to look at what this problem is here, and I need to have the confidence to really address what it is I need from this relationship. And if they're not willing to give it or participate in it, then I need to consider my other options, right? So anything good coming this week? I do see the Hierophant, and this is knowledge. So there is some important knowledge coming your way this week, where, you may decide, and this could be school, this could be relationships, but it's you leveling up. It's like, I really am ready for a higher position. I'm ready to, look at what I need. This is also values, right? So this week too, you may start to really see what it is that you truly value in life. And so it may be changing the direction when it comes to your relationships, because once you figure out what it is that's really important to you, then you can name it, and then you can direct it to your person. And then maybe they just don't realize, sometimes it's just that, we need to say what it is that we want. But school could be coming for some of you, or just leveling up in general and spiritually and with faith this week. You may start to notice that you're thinking about your faith. All right, so how others might be showing up this week, and I'm seeing the Queen of Wands. You do have a lot of people paying attention to you, a lot of people talking to you, being pulled towards you, people showing up very active, people showing up with a big heart, maybe very generous this week in general. It feels like, when you want something, you get it, it's delivered, and people seem to be very attracted to you and very and reciprocating. So with that being said, also people may be showing up in their ego. You may notice that people testing you at times, and that's this energy too. I feel like you can't get stuck on one thing. People being very direct, people taking things seriously, people taking you seriously. And so going back to, I always like to land in on this, the challenge, because most people are showing you, that you have influence over them, or they care about you and you really are important to them. And so if there is somebody in your life that isn't cutting it, or is treating you disrespectfully, or just doesn't value the connection, you're going to see that. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb. And it's part of it. It's part of making a decision, especially since long term you're seeking happiness in the full picture. All right, so what should you do with this? And I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles. Let what wants to leave this week, work with it, have the conversations, make the changes and be confident in it, right? This is about you getting to where it is you want to go. And you have the Ace of Pentacles, right? You want to commit, you want to give your energy and time to the people that value you and who are committed to growing with you. And the Ace of Pentacles is showing a new doorway, new opportunity that wants to open up for you this week. So with that being said, let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now I have the 10 of Cups and I have the King of Swords, right? Now remember, the main challenge here is the 5 of Pentacles, which feels like, come on already, is anything going to change here, right? Or like you're always complaining about your person. So if you're always complaining about your person, this is where this week where it's like facing the truth about a situation. All right, so Aries, Knight of Swords, right? So you and another Aries really having it out, deciding to make a choice this week. You guys could really talk things out, really decide and see what their true intentions are. Is this short-lived? Is this something that's supposed to last? But let's talk about it. So conversations can go in all kinds of directions this week with the Aries. All right, Taurus, Page of Pentacles. All right, so Taurus here really cares about you. It looks like, we're talking things out. We're talking about possibilities of a future. It's just they're very cautious before they move forward. They do take their time, but once they're there, once you guys make that call and maybe try to understand one another, because maybe they're starting to understand you and they want to build something with you. So we do see communication, talking things out with a Taurus. Gemini, Wheel of Fortune. So I don't know, take your chances with a Gemini. This is definitely can feel destined with you. You may feel like, you guys keep coming around for some reason. You're getting pulled together. And that's the truth. So we got to figure it out. If we keep doing things the same way, or something keeps happening over and over and over, don't expect it to change. I mean, if you're doing the same thing. So you may have to call some shots this week. You may have to try something different. In order for the relationship to move forward, we have to have some sort of change. So it does look like a Gemini could be coming back around this week for some of you. Now, Cancer, the Emperor card. All right, wanting to establish something with you, right? So a Cancer could initiate contact with you this week. Seems like they like to have more control over the situation than you think. So if they pull back, or, it's I want to do things on my time. Feelings exist, but sometimes they don't always show them right away. They just want to be the one in control. And so I don't know what your deal is, but it looks like they're interested. But if you push or force and they are drawn to your energy, that's the only reason why they may pull back a little bit. They don't want to be pushed into something. They want to feel like they're making the decision. Leo, I see Two of Pentacles, right? So you and Leo kind of going back and forth. It seems like on and off. You know, we got to decide here. We're going to keep doing this. Now, this doesn't mean that this can't go somewhere. But if you've been doing this for quite some time, where it just seems like on again, off again, on again, off again, you know, this is where it's procrastination, it's distraction, it's holding you back. So we need to have a conversation, face some sort of truth about this. What's the problem? Is it a commitment issue? All right, so we may be talking about that this week, but they could be back in. Virgo, Two of Cups. You and Virgo, this could be a really good week for you and Virgo. Really just deepening your connection, talking it out, you know, have something to say, some truth coming up. There's some love there with you and Virgo. A truth being revealed with the Libra too. If they've been holding back, it does look like finally telling you how they truly feel. Now the truth can, you know, set you free. Scorpio, the Justice, right? So something's been weighing on them too, and maybe they feel like they need to clear something up with you. This does not guarantee that things will be right, but it could be an apology, or it could be just the truth. I want this or I don't want this. Sagittarius, the King of Wands. So Sag's showing up really good for you right now. It looks like you and Sag really have your eye on each other and possibly a future together. Capricorn, a different story. It looks like, you know, there's just a lot of nuances between the two of you. And maybe just not always being transparent, which has caused a lot of anxiety and fear in this connection. Aquarius, the moon card too. It just seems like they come around, but nothing ever changes. So this is also a lot of anxiety. It doesn't mean they're not, they don't have emotions for you, but that doesn't always guarantee actions. The moon card could be also a big reveal too around an Aquarius this week, about where they really stand with their feelings. And Pisces, we're seeing, you know, full send here with the Pisces. So they may be coming at you with some blunt, honest truth. And you may love it, or it may trigger you, right? But that's the kind of energy this week, so that we can move forward and build something solid. All right, guys, I love you. All right, Taurus, we have July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle first, and then we'll dive in. And plus, I do Aries through Pisces for the week as well. All right, it's always tea time, endless moments and repetition and eternity. So this week, you know, it does look like the rat race, you know, and it feels like Groundhog Day, and it feels like that could bother you even more so this week too. So if life's been getting to you lately, and not that life's been bad, right? But this can be like, even for you, Taurus, where it's like, come on, I'm just being impatient. I need to figure out how to do something. It's like the same shit, different day. And it just seems like something will never change, or something just won't end, right? And so wherever in your life this week, especially with this could be where clarity is coming up for you. Maybe you're getting the same shit, maybe the phone call, always hearing the same thing, you know, and you know, or maybe not following through, you know, with what they say. So this week, that's when this fresh chapter is going to open up. So something's going to clear up. So if you're being overwhelmed with something that just won't resolve itself, this week you may find yourself taking a huge leap towards making a decision about your future. Depending on where it's at, you know, you might finally take that leap and buy something. You might finally take that leap and go somewhere and try something new. Go, you know, if it's something you want to do in your everyday life. If it's a relationship and you're getting sick of the same song and dance, you may finally be like, I'm just, you know what? I just can't. I'm just tired of mentally stressing you out. So let's look at the energy for the week. We're going to look at the energy main challenge and what to watch for in love and life, and the good stuff coming too. All right, we have the Emperor card, right? Look at that grump, right? Look at this. Taurus, work another day, work this. I mean, you may love what you do. You may love everything about your life, but there just could be a moment this week, where you just kind of like, you want some fun. It looks like you want some fun in your life. We got this Aries energy too. So, this can also be just Aries gets bored quick. You get bored quick. And so even though some of you can hang on for quite some time, even you have your limits, right? So the Emperor card is talking about making peace with something and making a new plan. So some of you could be really writing down exactly what your next, especially if you're thinking about leaving your career, or you want to move, or you really just want to be you want your life to look different. This is the new moon week, right? Ace of Swords. The energy, the message is finally arriving, all right, with the Kazemi. All right, so again, that's going to be hidden where, there could be, I want to buy something, I want to do something, or you get that conversation from somebody. Maybe they're explaining themselves, they're bringing clarity to you. Why were they silent? Why are they doing this again? Why do they keep doing this again? Some of you may get that second chance, like you may trust them. You may have the conversation that just feels different. It feels like somebody is being honest with you. And then for some of you, it is what it is. The truth is the truth, but it may set you free, right? But the energy for you feels good. It just feels like you're just getting tired of the same old shit, and it's like, I really do need something to change, right? So what's your biggest challenge? The Five of Pentacles for you too as well. I just feel like I would be repeating myself, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I promise you guys, right? But you're at a point where you're just expecting now. You're expecting somebody to do the same thing. You're expecting work to feel the same. You're expecting hot as balls weather every morning you wake up in Florida, and if you have to work out there, and you're expecting your person to go distant, or you're expecting your person not to show up, problems, so what are you complaining about? What is it that's bothering you the most? It just feels like at this point, this is where it's not just you're complaining about it because you want to complain. You're complaining about it because it just won't change. And somebody might say, or they might intend to. I don't know. You might be drawing some line this week, Taurus. All right. Let's see. I'm always drawing lines for you guys, right? That's my job as a Scorpio, right? Look at this in love, Seven of Cups, right? There's love there. There's love there, but there's always come on. Sometimes I'm questioning whether or not they really choose me, right? Why are they up in their head? Or your person's always up in their head, right? You're up in your head because you don't always know what's going on or what they're doing. It's like you want to stay positive. You're trying to stay positive, but then sometimes you're asking yourself, is this a dream? Is this ever going to be a reality? Am I being too, I don't know, too friggin' gullible, but at the same time too, I do see some of you being swarmed with some of these things that you really want to do with your life. All right. It's like your imagination's on overdrive. It's like, I want to be somewhere else. I don't want to be working this job. I want to be, if you're dealing with a relationship that's leaving you kind of constantly questioning, you're over here going, man, I want to be building my house right now. I want to be moving in. And so you can see where this is going to totally just get to you this week. Not that it hasn't gotten to you last week or the week before, but sometimes, or it's better than others. Sometimes you're more forgiving than others. This week you may find it hard. Now in life, I see the 10 of Wands. I just see you're sick of the rat race, right? Me too, right? So you're sick of it. You're sick of carrying life on your own. You're sick of doing everything on your own, carrying, somebody calls you for help, you're going to be there, right? You're going to fix it. You're going to do it. You have the ability to. pick yourself up and just carry everything. But I can see that you carry a lot more than you need to on your own. And some of you are just so used to doing everything on your own. That's earthy quality too. It's like, I'll get it done. This is just the way of life. I know how to tackle it. I show up, I get it done, I do it, right? But still, this is your energy too. It still can get to you, and that's the thing too. It's like maybe some of you are sick of carrying the emotional, physical responsibilities on your own, or even if you're with somebody, you may feel like you carry the brunt of the burdens. And, this is where the conversation this week is. You might get to a point where you just can't carry it anymore. You're like, I want some fun in my life, and it'll happen naturally. It might feel like you'll just start all of a sudden, I want to leave work early, or I want to leave the house. I want to go somewhere. Or you may be, dialing or texting that person a little bit lesser this week because you just really need something else in your honor and your feelings. You get to the 10 of Wands, you have no more room to carry much more. Now, the good stuff coming in this week, the Two of Pentacles, all right? There may be an opportunity, obviously, this week for you. You might have to make an important decision. Do I want to take on another job? Do I want to take on another situation? You have opportunities and you have movement this week. So you could be making a plan with somebody. Somebody might come in and say something to you about, an opportunity, and you may be finding, wow, I didn't expect that to come in here. But this card here is also very potent when it comes to if you've been really thinking and fantasizing about something. This is where, if you're feeling the heavy brunt of everything else going on in your life, this here is going to look good. It's going to be like, another opportunity coming around here, a way to make money, or another person coming into my life that looks pretty good. So if somebody else isn't making a choice, this could be one of those weeks. It's a new moon week. Somebody shows up in your life and, you feel yourself being pulled or curious about somebody else. So for those of the people that you've been really giving your heart to, man, this week, if they don't up their game, they could lose my Tauruses. Now, how are others showing up for you? I see the King of Pentacles. Right. So for the most part, that's your energy. It looks like people really do respect you. They look like they come to you for a lot. This is where I'm getting this energy here too. It does look like you do a lot for people. You carry, you pay, you invest. You're very comfortable. People love being around you. So in general, this week is really good about the people that really, whenever you really want somebody or something, those people are always, they tend to dictate your mood or your happiness. And we forget the other stuff going on around us because it's working out, right? We don't have to worry about it. And so in general, the people around you really do admire you and really showing up very thoughtful and handy. And this is going to be one of those weeks too, where watch what people are doing, watch for the ones that really care about you, because this week, people will be more active in doing and showing up and putting effort in. It's not going to be just talk. It's going to be doing too as well. So people really do feel drawn to you this week. And even the Seven of Cups in love, some of you who are single, all right, maybe you're wondering when's it going to happen for you? And, you could have an earth sign coming in, but also this could be the week where, you are drawing people in. People are finding you very attractive. So let's take a look at Aries through Pisces. Well, no, let me get an advice card and then we'll go through Aries through Pisces. Wheel of Fortune. All right, so that makes sense. This week could be a fated week. Something coming back around again, that Two of Pentacles, that you're getting another opportunity that maybe a couple of years ago or maybe a week ago, you weren't ready for it, but it looks like it is coming back around. This is a week of making a new decision and trying something new. But this week in general is a turning point for you where it's like something's got to change You know, you can't keep griping over something. Something's got to change, and it finally is in a position where even universally is you're being, it's kind of out of your hands. It's kind of happening naturally. If somebody, if you're dealing with somebody that's kind of karmic or unfinished business, that energy too can also say this week, be cautious, somebody coming back around. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now you have the 7 of Cups, then you have the 10 of Wands here, even in life. So it does feel like, man, why can't somebody just, you know, make a decision already? Or am I just, you know, praying for the, you know, possibilities? Am I hanging around because I can see the possibilities? So let's see Aries energy. And I have the Knight of Wands. So Aries wants this. It seems like Aries could be coming in this week very spicy, very fun, very pulled towards you. I got a good energy in Aries too when it came to you as well. It just feels like the chemistry is there. You just might be dealing with an Aries where, you know, they just, things, they act fast, they're impulsive, and but it doesn't mean they don't want this, right? So I see messages. Taurus, you have the Queen of Cups. So this here too is you emotionally kind of feeling pretty sensitive lately, you know, and I want to be chosen, right? So if you're in your feelings, this is Cancer energy, and we have a lot of Cancer energy going on right now. So this is hitting close to home. And if you're not feeling nurtured or respected or cared for, you're going to feel it this week, and it's going to like really catapult you into making it maybe a decision, like I said. So you and Taurus really feeling each other too. So you could be deepening your connection this week. Gemini, Knight of Pentacles, you're still moving and grooving with a Gemini. Depending on what you want and where you're at, if the Knight of Pentacles is, you know, something you've been dealing with for a long time, you know, it's slow paced, but it is there. But if you're wanting something more exciting, I would say nothing's really changing here with a Gemini. And be mindful that Gemini is also going through some shifts right now. And so they're very unpredictable. Cancer, I see the Hierophant. You could definitely be talking about where this relationship is going. You guys both seem to be very, you know, committed to one another or loyal to each other in some way. Leo, the Magician, you're both very attracted to each other, so nothing's changing, it looks like, this week. And some of these could be new. A Leo here being pulled, maybe calling you, texting you. Virgo, Ace of Cups. So you get some Virgo feeling the love, their heart opening up. This, you know, new moon energy could be bringing in a fresh start with a Virgo. Same thing with a Libra. You got some great energy coming through, Taurus, this week. Some great energy. I just feel like some of you are just gonna get like, fuck this. This is boring. I need, you know, I need some new grass to graze on, right? And so Libra, though, falling in love, or Libra, you going on a date wherever you're at. Scorpio, I see the 10 of Swords, so you could be dealing with some grief or separation still with a Scorpio. Sagittarius, you have a conversation that could get fiery, you know, especially if they have a block up, or be mindful there could be a block. There's just aggravation and frustration here with a Sagittarius. And, you know, I would just be mindful that they got their guards up. Capricorn, 8 of Pentacles, could be focusing on work and may feel like they're not being as attentive to you. Aquarius, grief, challenging, still challenging. All right. You know, it's just sometimes it just hits. Their words may hit, you know, it's a constant battle. And Pisces, Strength card. So you and Pisces still kind of, no matter what you're going through here, you guys will figure it out. There's pride and ego between you and Pisces, but at the same time, you guys also feel very drawn to each other and drawn to each other's character, right? So I love you guys. All right, Gemini, July 13th to the 19th. Let's get an oracle first, and same setup. energy, challenge, love, and life. The good come in, and Aries through Pisces. So you have used your time well this week. Make every moment count. You know, I know that some of you guys have been feeling this energy, and, you know, there's such goodness to it. And then there's some, like, you know, ego, like I've been noticing, where it's like you just don't know sometimes. Like everything will be going good one second, and the next thing you know, somebody says something, it's like boom, and it's like you never know, would that come out of their mouth? Or, you know, I have all this energy and I don't, you know, so this kind of fits well with use your time well instead of getting lost in distraction, because you could get into some trouble that way too as well. And this is where, you know, you get all this energy, Gemini. You can get a lot of shit done this week. A lot of good could come out of this. Now we have the Kazemi, we have the new moon, and we have Venus and Virgo, which is what I've been focusing on. Plus your Gemini energy has been one of the biggest things that I've been focusing on, because it does hit me hard. And so this week, you know, there could be some great reveal around a situation that has been really weighing on you. You know, and then we have the new moon, which is sent a reset, new seeds or new opportunity. And then you have this energy of watching what people do, because the right people who are meant to be in your life will put effort in, will show up, will be there, you know. And we have the Two of Cups, the energy of the week, and this is a conversation. You know, finally somebody's saying or making, you know, that suggestion, and or just talking to you, and it feels different. You know, you may notice your relationships this week are getting closer. But then I just had something funny come through my mind, because I know a lot of you, and it's use your time well, because every moment counts, right? And if your conversation is running your chart this week, is showing up as the energy this week. If you're bored and all you're doing is focusing on somebody, they're going to be able to feel that energy this week. You may text, you may get mad, you may get frustrated, or you may think somebody is taking forever to respond to you. And when they're not, they got other things going on. But your anxiety, your anxiousness, because Gemini's like, quick, fast, you know, come on, let's go. And so there could also be moments this week where you have perfect moments to say exactly what you need to say, and say it, and make every moment count, intentionally, when you're talking to everybody this week, right? So this could be a good practice on, you know, conversations, and saying exactly what you mean, and being attentive. And you have Mercury retrograde, so this is also for you. Seems like more clarity and direct about your feelings, and other people as well. So even if it's somebody from your past that might come back around, or, you know, which is sometimes the case, but this could also be a problem coming back around in your current relationships. This is a time to really sit with and say exactly what you mean, and listen to your person as well too. You have too much time on your hands, though. We can create problems. Now, the challenge this week is talking to somebody and turning something into something stable. You know, you have the Ace of Pentacles. It's hearing what you want to hear, but now you have Virgo and Venus, and it's like, are you gonna fulfill your promise? Is this gonna go somewhere? You know, you get in that conversation, you know, you're talking, you're feeling this connection. Now the challenge is commitment. The challenge is this gonna move forward? Or, you know, this is also the big reveal, could be a conversation whether or not somebody really truly is committed, or you really want to invest in a certain situation. So you could be making a decision about that too. Now, this also is affecting money and work. There could be a truth around money this week, a raise, an opportunity, or maybe some of you just wanting to have a talk because you need more money or want more money. and the challenge is you don't see an opportunity, or you're just struggling, you're wanting a new opportunity. But you may have to have that conversation with somebody, and then, some of you not wanting to, or not thinking that there's another opportunity for you. This is money here. There could be something trying to come into your life, a new job, or a new investment, another way to make money. Now in love, I see the Six of Swords, right? So I do feel like, Gemini, whatever's going on in your love situation, it is saying simplify and stay focused. And it seems like it'll smooth over. Something will smooth over this week, even after. It feels funny because this is like the great reveal, and then the new moon, and then moving forward, it's like we know where we stand. We know what's going on. Things actually seem smoother. But I do see in love that some of you could be moving in a new direction this week. If a relationship is continuing to grow, the challenge is the Ace of Pentacles, not knowing where it's going. Maybe we're having the talk about, are you serious? Or, maybe we're finally, keeping things simple, but we're still moving forward. Because it does feel like in love, somebody, wants to see where things go with you, even if they're not saying everything and they're just kind of going with the flow, this kind of energy, right? They're still wanting to see where things go. But, I cannot help myself, and I'm sorry, but I want the best for all of you. If you're in a situation and your biggest challenge is the Ace of Pentacles and this person just will not commit, in love, you might be finding another road. You might be this week, you got the new moon. I want in Cancer energy, you want love right now. You want to feel at home. You want to feel real. You want to feel a relationship where we can ground in and build something. And Cancer is domestic, and if you're not feeling the love, this week you may be getting the truth about not only money and finances, but love and which direction you're moving in. In life, I'm seeing the Five of Pentacles. So it does seem like some of you, not all of you, some of you doing great, some and good blessings. Some of you may be being hit with some debt, hit with some, I'm just always doing everything myself. I got to figure it out myself. I just really wish that there was somebody else in it to win it with me. You may be feeling, or you're just complaining. This has been my complaining card all week. You've been complaining because you might have it, you might be okay, but it's not cutting it anymore, and you're just feeling like you're missing something. And hopefully this week will be the week you get some awesome clarity about that. What is it? What is it that you really want? Shit's going to be shaken up for you. And, if your desire is meant for something, or you just feel a calling, but you're ignoring it, it might hit pretty hard this week, with, I want something to change. All right, the good coming in, I see the Four of Wands. So there could be a moment with your family, at your home. Again, this could be something good, a new home. Maybe some of you thinking about purchasing a home, but you don't know how you're going to because of the situation. But this week too, there could be some reveal about how you can do this, right? You may get some good information. I am seeing also getting together or some sort of reunion by the end of the week. So you may be having people over or having somebody over. And, you may be just talking about the next step in a relationship too as well. And so I am feeling something great, something good coming around family life, home life, stability, and an event that you can put into your scrapbook. Like, this is a moment for me. This is the moment when things started changing, and I made a decision. Now, how others show up, Queen of Cups, there's that Cancer energy. All right. Real loving and nurturing and very encouraging, right? So pay attention to people encouraging you this week, people really missing you. If some of you have been thinking, I just don't fit in, or I just don't feel right, or I'm just not seeing the love lately. Maybe some of you have been noticing, or you're being asked to notice this week, because there are a lot of people that consider you part of their tribe, or feel very close to you. And there is a feminine energy showing up. So there could be a friendship that is continuing to grow. Somebody really cares about you. Somebody likes having you around. And I also am seeing that Cancer energy too, where it's like a contrast right now. If you're not feeling the love from somebody, you're definitely going to see it and not be able to not unsee it. So I will look at Aries through Pisces as well too, but what's your advice for the week? And I am seeing the Six of Cups as well. So receive, all right? Receive the information, receive the friendships, receive the love. You got sixes showing up, which is your, Gemini lovers is 6 too as well. So 6 number of synchronicity. And it does look like a lot of energy around you. Friendship might be coming in this week, or just hanging out with some good friends. And this week too, just opening up and allowing other people to give to you, allowing other people to see you, allowing other people, if they're being pulled towards you, it is asking you to kind of open up and see it and be with it. Now, this can be a big week too for, reconciling with somebody as well. We are still in that energy of somebody coming back around. And there is a potential that this week you could be reconciling with somebody from your past. So Aries through Pisces. Aries, the Fool cards. You got Aries coming on in. All right. Hey, what's up? What was this card again? Use your time well. Make every moment count. So intentional. Your word for the week is intentional. Do that thing, but be mindful. Say what you want to say, but say exactly what you want to say. I have a Fool coming in, somebody who really just can't get enough of you, or somebody wants to see where things go with you. I have a Taurus here too, the 3 of Cups. It looks like wanting to talk to you too. You got a lot of good energy around you. So I do feel intuitively that you draw more attention than you think, and people enjoy your company. People love having you around. And there could even be somebody in your crowd that really could see you as a partner, but maybe still kind of keeping it casual as well, especially with a Taurus. Now, Gemini, Page of Wands, maybe you are getting restless. Maybe you are impulsive right now. The Page of Wands wanted to come in reverse. You saw that. And your energy is being hit right now. I mean, your sign is being hit right now. And with, Mars and Uranus. And you may be feeling some moments very impulsive, and some moments coming unhinged. That's the word I've been hearing a lot of. And some moments just feeling really fun and spunky and feeling like yourself, right? But you got to give yourself a little love and grace right now, right? As you're coming into something new. This is new energy for you. I see, maybe you're not sure if another Gemini is just playful, just play around, just short-lived, or is this something that can go somewhere? You may be having that talk this week about whether or not you want to mess around with somebody who is not taking things seriously. Cancer, King of Cups. So Cancer showing up very loving, and Cancer in your reading, you could be starting a relationship with a Cancer, or in whatever you're going through or doing, the bond is very strong between you and a Cancer. Same with a Leo. Leo sees you. Leo's like, I'm waiting for my season. I'm getting ready. I got my crown on already. But you have a strong pull and chemistry with a Leo. Virgo, you guys got to decide here, because, you guys keep going on the same route and not getting anywhere. It's been really tough. Now you have another go, but, use it wisely. I guess I would go back, use your time wisely, because if you wanted to work with a Virgo, you guys are already at the edge where it's both you guys are kind of worn out. So you got to make the right move if you want it to work. Libra, King of Pentacles. So Libra is showing up. Libra's very attentive this week. You may notice a Libra doing more for you, paying attention and thinking about, or you guys could be even talking about future plans, or noticing that you're talking more about future plans. Scorpio, 3 of Wands, all right? You guys both kind of, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. All right. Let go a little bit and just let things come together here. But there is progress. You're making progress. Things are happening. Things are starting to come together. Sagittarius, Knight of Wands. Sag is all about Sag, right? Sag is in their energy, maybe coming this week towards you, out of the blue. Maybe you don't expect it, right? But they're very passionate about you. Capricorn, 8 of Pentacles. You may notice they pull their energy away a little bit. They might not be as interested, or they're focusing on something that's got their attention. Aquarius as well. It may feel like it's not going anywhere, or this week it just may feel like, maybe we need to just give each other space. And Pisces coming back around. You guys just both feel, pulled towards each other. It's like there's a reason here. Whatever it is, we got to figure it out. And this could be the week. Maybe you do, right? I love you guys. Happy birthday, Cancer. We're looking at July 13th to the 19th. Let's get an oracle and let's dive in, right? The energy of the week, the challenge, love, the Aries through Pisces. All right, growing up, wanting to grow and experience, all right? Getting tired of things just kind of repeating itself, right? Or feeling stuck in a zone or an era or a way of being, and it's time, I just want something different. I want something new. Now, this is your week, right? The main event this week is the new moon in Cancer. We have Mercury retrograde too. That's going to be a conzimi there too, with the sun. So something that, about who you are and what you actually want, even what you're done pretending to be, especially if you've been keeping yourself small or keeping yourself in a group or keeping yourself in a situation that really feels comfortable but doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Well, this is where you may say something that you've been trying to avoid, but it's just going to be hard for you to avoid it. It's going to be a reset. This is your time. This is for you to plant new seeds and about yourself. And so what you're really wanting in your soul is going to come out one way or another. So let's see your energy and the main challenge to start with. Nine of Cups, happy birthday. This to me feels like enjoying your moment, getting that, blowing out the candle and getting your wish. Things looking good. This is a glow up energy too, and it just feels good overall. So be mindful, like just because I'm saying you might be aware of something doesn't mean that you're gonna have to do it, or it's just showing that it may come up for you. But also I am seeing something you've been wishing for also maybe coming true. So let's see, this new moon could be pretty friggin' awesome for some of you. 4 of Swords, reset. This is the energy of the week. Taking a break, taking a time out. Maybe some of you may feel like you've been thinking about something, pondering on something long enough, and this is where you're ready for something new. This is a new beginning card too as well. It's like, I just kind of dealt with maybe some grief, or maybe I did hear something that hit and, I'm still processing it. But when something happens to us or we hear something and it takes us off guard and we still want to work towards it, right? We never really forget that moment when some truth came up, and then it starts kind of in the background growing on its own. And this week, maybe some of you, something happened in a relationship or happened at work or happened in your life and you noted it. It's one of those, okay, I note. All right. And so you've been thinking about, you know, your own fresh start. Let's see your biggest challenge. Two of Swords. All right. It's definitely hard because once you know, you know. Once you know you want something new, or once you heard something, you know it can't go away. You have an elephant memory, and it's just, and once you realize that you're done with something or you're ready for something, you know, you know. But the challenge is, you know, crushing somebody else or making that decision, or maybe some of you needing some space or needing a vacation, and some of you just kind of talking yourself out of it. So you may be doing that. You may still find yourself in your head trying to talk yourself out of something that you've already declared, that you already know. Now in love, I'm seeing the Death card here. So something's changing when it comes to love. This is where you may already know something is over or something needs to change. And this does not, remember, wanting to grow and experience, right? And so if you feel like you're in a situation that's going nowhere, it is going to hit hard for you right now. If you just feel like I'm in a situation and it's okay, but I've definitely outgrown it and I can constantly feel that I've outgrown it, that is going to show up heavy today. I mean, this week, maybe today, right? With the Kazimi. But this is where, that does not mean that you have to end a situation, but realness is coming in. All right. Somebody maybe you are having a conversation about where things really go and something needs to change. Right. And so some of you could decide to end something, you know, or have a conversation about something that needs to end or change. And it doesn't mean the person has to leave your life. Right. But love looks like you're different. All right. So words are very powerful for you right now because Mercury's in your sign. And so something that's going to come back up, especially with the retrograde that you've been trying to tuck, is going to come up. And, you know, possibly you just can't undo it. You can't unchange it. In life, you're looking good. King of Pentacles. Some of you got it going on. Some of you got a great job. Some of you got, you know, great goals, or you're working towards, you know, you might have 10 jobs, but you are working towards it. You are going to have the comforts of a great home. Everything you touch seems to just work, right? You just make it work. You're good at what you do. And in life too, there could be somebody, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, who is very important to your life, very influential, meant to come into your life. So there could be a new partnership, business partnership, or an opportunity that's coming your way. This week, you may be discussing something with a boss. You may be becoming a boss. You may be a parent, a grandparent. You may find out. But it does look like in life, you're pretty much writing your own rules. The good coming, Page of Pentacles, new way to make money. We have a child too, so or school, something, you know, you might be taking a new course. You might be bringing a child into your life, or there could be a gift coming in this week too, somebody giving you a gift, and a new doorway opening up, where you can try to make money or do something different, but you'll have to start off in a new position, which could be lesser than the King of Pentacles. But that's what happens when we have to start fresh again. It's like a reset, but it doesn't, you'll get to where you got to go no matter what you do. How are others showing up? The Three of Wands. You could have a lot of people showing up this week that have potential to be in your life for quite some time. You know, people seem to be very active. People seem to be willing to go places, maybe inviting you places, maybe very chatty. You know, somebody may be wanting to hang out, go somewhere. They may be seeing you differently, noticing that you're you have this energy about you where you're talking more about the future, or you're talking about plans for the future, and you may be inviting people in that have the same kind of views or visions as you. And I do feel like you could be connecting with a lot of people that brings newer people into your life. Your advice, Queen of Wands, all right, say it, do it, open your heart, use the power of your voice, you're standing good, you're looking good, the Queen of Wands, being confident and not underestimating yourself. Now, let's do Aries through Pisces. Apparently, you have a difficult decision to make around a situation, and it comes down to you, right? You know something that it's hard for you to unknow. Your person maybe said they didn't want to live in Hawaii, but you've been dreaming about that your whole life, and you've been invested in a relationship. And then they said, I don't really want to go there. So now you know that your dream is not their dream. Or somebody did something worse, you guys broke up over something, or something happened, cheated or anything like that, but you're trying to make it work. Now, those kind of things, now I'm being drastic there, so there's a million things in between that. Those kind of things could be coming up this week, where it's like you can't unknow something. So, but I feel torn because it feels like you're being pulled to make some sort of decision. You don't have to, obviously. Aries, 5 of Pentacles. So you're just getting tired maybe of always pulling the weight, or feeling like an Aries has a lot of issues that they're not dealing with. They don't take care, they don't hold themselves responsible. And it just feels like they're not always showing up and being very supportive. It doesn't look like anything's changing. Remember that the death card says, something has to change, or it's not changing. It's just done. It's there. This is it. Taurus, I see the Emperor. So you have a Taurus who's stepping up, and you got Taurus right there. So it feels like Taurus plays a really good part in your life this week. You could be talking about plans for the future. Gemini, it looks like you and a Gemini on the same page. You guys feeling it, feeling good, maybe reminiscing, maybe talking about plans for the future, maybe kissing and making up. Cancer, you have the Devil card. All right, so it does look like you have a lot weighing on you. You feel bound to something. You feel it's hard to make a decision here. The Two of Swords, you don't want to make the wrong decision. You're really attached to somebody. They feel familiar. But this week could be about breaking those chains, especially with another Cancer. Leo, 2 of Pentacles, right? You and Leo still moving and grooving. It looks like we just need to try and understand each other, figure things out, make it work. It's inconsistent. So if some of you have been dealing with inconsistency, you're still kind of dealing with inconsistency. This could be where some of you need to weigh out the pros and cons of your relationship with the Leo. Now, Virgo, I'm also seeing here, you got a lot of 2s coming in for you. So your number is 222. Now, I'm seeing the 2 of Cups with a Virgo. So there's a lot of love there. Let's have that conversation. Let's talk, and let's make it meaningful. So maybe, resolving some sort of conflict with the Virgo this week. Libra, 4 Cups. You're not getting what you want from a Libra. It seems like they're just not up to it, or they're not showing up, or they're not investing enough, and they just feel, they feel something, but they're very protective of their heart, and maybe just not ready to give. I don't know. I don't want to say they don't want this or want you. It's just when you got somebody in this energy, it's hard to tell what they want. Scorpio, 4 of Wands. You and Scorpio celebrating some good times this week. Maybe finally moving in together, or talking about plans for the future. Sagittarius, Queen of Swords, right? So Sag here, thinking, talking, communicating. We got to see what we need to say to make it work. Let's get on the same page here. So you could have light conversation with the Sag. Capricorn, things could take a turn. You might be making that decision to separate with a Capricorn. Aquarius, Six of Pentacles, you may be making new plans, right? All right, let's talk about things. So you could see a shift this week with an Aquarius, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pisces, Three of Pentacles. You and Pisces, you know, you guys want to make it work. You'll make it work. I love you guys. Leo, July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle for the week and then let's dive in. Look at what to watch for in love and life. And then I will do Aries through Pisces for you. All right. Messages for a rabbit. Service to the animal world. All right. So pay attention to the animals that show up for you this week, especially if you love symbolism, right? Follow it. This is follow the white rabbit. Be curious. All right. So if things seem a little odd this week, or something is questionable, there's a message in it. All right. So if you feel a little off, or somebody says something and you're like, what was that? This is a week of clarity, too. And then there's a new moon starting. So there might be something new trying to enter your life, but also could be some truth trying to enter your life too. Something that's been kind of hiding behind the scenes. And also, what came through is, with Jupiter in your sign, for those of you that I can't imagine a Leo not wanting to be seen, but it's been kind of hidden, maybe kind of in the background. This could be a week where you're finally in the spotlight, or you're starting to feel or notice. This whole year could even be like that, but things that you have been hiding though could come out. That Jupiter does, enhance certain things, not just all the good things too. So if you have something that you've been hiding that you want to face, some of this, could come up. And it doesn't mean that everybody's going to see it, but it might mean that it could be what's causing a problem for you and you need to address it. So let's take a look at tarot. And you're getting ready for your season. So anything that needs to be cleaned up, then you can put your crown on and get the party started. All right, the energy of the week. We have the 10 of Pentacles here. So there could be a lot around family, home, things you need to do around the house. If there's anything that you've been dealing with family dynamics, problems, just life in general. Some of you could be feeling a little worn out from all your responsibilities too. So this is an energy of needing more rest. Really feeling, pay attention to your dreams and also pay attention to your body. This week you may start to feel a little bit overwhelmed with all the responsibilities, or just what seems normal may not just feel comfortable for you anymore. You may be wondering, what are you working so hard for? Or, nothing makes sense anymore. You're just feeling kind of like everybody around you is doing their thing, but maybe not noticing how you're feeling lately. So you might be kind of, protective of your energy and, maybe just overworking and needing some rest here this week, especially if you're feeling like nobody's getting you or you're doing everything. You're the one that kind of holds it together and nobody's realizing that my Leos need a little bit of love. And it could just simply mean that this week, stepping out of always having to be on top of everything and giving yourself some room to go and do something completely out of the ordinary. I see the 8 of Pentacles. It looks as though you're constantly working or fiddling or doing something, right? Really trying to master your craft. Some of you too, this could be a week where you are overwhelmed with all the responsibilities and the bills and the debt and the dues and the do nots, right? But the 8 of Pentacles could be a new job opening this week. So there might be something that catches your attention now, and maybe in the animal world, maybe vet, maybe servicing, maybe humanity work, things like that, or something that brings you peace. But there could be a new job or something opening up that might catch your eye. But this is the energy. It just seems like you work yourself to to pay for everything. And you could be questioning whether all the things that you're working towards really are bringing you fulfillment. You know, we want it all. We want the 10 of Pentacles. We want the life. We want the legacy. We want the money. But sometimes we're working just to keep up with the status quo, and it's just not fulfilling us anymore. So this could be a week where you are, you know, cleaning up stuff and deciding to simplify your life. Like, some of the things are just not worth it. Your time is starting to become very valuable. Maybe you're noticing that you just, whenever you do have time, you're just tired, you know? So your biggest challenge, the 3 of Swords, you may be feeling a certain way this week. And I kind of feel like this is really internal. Like, you know, you want to choose something, you want to do something different, but you might be fearful that you could disappoint others, or, you know, maybe you've reached a point that, you know, you did all you could do and you do want something else, but it could be very disappointing. You could feel like you're disappointing others or disappointing yourself by making a different decision to make your life more simple. Now, the biggest challenge this week is afraid to make a decision because it may result in disappointment, right? Some sorrow, some sadness. And like I said, a lot of my Leos, it feels like you're dealing with this internally, and maybe you're trying to avoid it by working, and it may come up. It may come up because you can only avoid sadness for so long, or a hole in your heart for so long. If you are currently dealing with a separation, and we'll look at love, you know, this week you may be trying to find other ways to, you know, deal with it or avoid it. If you're dealing with family dynamics and it just feels like you guys can't seem to get along, and, you know, it's really weighing on you, some of those, you know, solutions are coming up too this week. You may start to figure out, what do we need to do next? What do we need to do to fix this situation? Because it's just not working. We can't keep avoiding it. You can't keep avoiding something. All right. But you know, the good news though is that this could be a sign this week that everything that you've been working towards or working for that used to define you, you're becoming a new Leo. You're getting ready. You're clearing things out for your reset around your birthday, for something new, a new solar return. And so the things that don't need to come with you are the things that may be coming up this week, that you are planting seeds for this new year. Now, in love, 8 of Cups, maybe some of you fallen out of love. Maybe some of you are thinking about, you know, I'm walking away from a situation. You know, I can see that here. Or you recently just walked away from a situation and it hurts because you still feel, you know, but you feel like you're doing the right thing, because this is your internal compass is showing up with these energies here, which is saying, I really need to feel like I belong. I really need to feel like I'm on my path. And if you've been feeling disappointed in a situation, it looks like deciding or doing a little soul searching here, where, you know, you give yourself a little bit of time to walk your own path so you can figure out what really brings you happiness. Now, maybe some of you are realizing, you know, or you're thinking about, if you're in a relationship, and we'll look at Aries to Pisces, if you're in a relationship, maybe you're not feeling seen. Maybe you're not feeling heard. Maybe you just need some time out. And again, to go do something that fills your heart with joy, you know, so you can do a little processing. Something is not turning out the way you thought it would, and you just don't know what to do. So this week it could be actually, you know, just taking care of your wellness. You know, this really feels like how you're feeling, and not necessarily that you're walking away from a situation, but you're really just feeling like you need more time. Now, in love too, some of you, if you're not in a relationship, maybe you have been, you know, just kind of recovering from something that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and you're just being asked to give yourself a little bit of space here to really redefine what it is you're looking for. And, you know, in love, I mean, your values are really coming up. You've been given a lot. It seems like you do give a lot. You put a lot of effort in, And maybe some of you are just making a really difficult choice, that the options that I have, the people that I've been connecting with, they're okay, but they just kind of always make me feel like they're not fully choosing me. So I need to choose, make a choice. And, you know, I could stay and I could hang out with these people, but I'm missing something. I'm not feeling fully seen or complete. So you could be dealing with, also some of you, a runner, and that could really get to you this week. I'm not saying that you guys have to stop caring about, that's not what this energy reading is about. What it's saying though is it could really bother you this week, especially if you really need to be seen. All right. In life in general, the Hierophant, right? I feel like life is teaching you a lot about values, about you know, your moral compass too here. It's teaching you a lot about who shares the same values as you. Now, some of you too may have reached a certain point in your life where you have accomplished, you've reached the top, and now you need to be challenged with something new. So some of you may be thinking about school, going back to school. But in life in general, it feels like you really want to feel connected to people who share the same values as you. Now, I'm seeing marriage energy here with the 10 of Pentacles, and you want a partner, you want the life, but I'm also feeling like some of you are changing what is important to you right now. Some of you really may be focusing on, you know, I thought I wanted all these things, but I got there, I did it, and it just didn't fulfill me. And now I'm thinking I want something different for my life, which is where, you know, finding the right person, but not being able to define what it is you're looking for can also get in the way of relationships and who you're choosing if you don't know exactly what you're going after next. You know, so starting with simplifying your life. But I do feel like a lot of you have accomplished a lot in your life with the Hierophant. And, you know, it's going to be hard for somebody to measure up to you. You know, maybe, you know, that's been a problem for you. It just feels like maybe some people aren't seeing all that you have accomplished, or what you give back. I have Taurus energy showing up here too as well. So Taurus could be really big in your life. The good coming in, I see the Page of Swords. So this week, again, the messages, right? There could be a very powerful message, you know, where luck comes in. People are seeing you, talking to you, connecting with you. You may get an invitation. Somebody inquiring about you, somebody wanting to know what you're up to. You may see a sign, you may see something that looks, you know, wow, this is opening up in next month, or looking for a hiring, you know, things like that. Or a new just something totally random that you maybe are like, I really am interested in that, and following it and seeing where it takes you. So there could be a bunch of news coming in with this, you know, Page of Swords, things that also could be questionable. So keep that in mind too with the Page of Swords. Like, it might seem like you hear something or you see something that is questionable, and you might not be able to see right at front that it is good. You know, this is good, but it might be, you know, like curious. You know, it doesn't seem like it at first, but be mindful of that kind of energy. You know, dig into stuff, ask questions this week. So I do see a lot of opportunities with the Page of Swords. It does bring information. It does bring open doors for you to start something new, to study something. Now, how others might show up this week, I see the Justice card. So obviously, you know, other people, you might need to weigh things out pretty clearly. I do see, again, you know, it just feels like maybe you feel like there's not a balance in relationships. Maybe you feel like people owe you something, or you felt betrayed, or you're holding on to some sort of grudge, or you just feel like your family dynamics, things aren't fair. And You know, there also could be, though, too, Leo, that somebody or people around you maybe feel like there isn't a balance either. So I always have to look at things from, I don't have to, but I do look at things from both sides. Like, you know, we don't see each other's side. Somebody else may be feeling like you are not being fair to them. Maybe it's with time. Maybe they feel, or they're feeling like you're not interested anymore. So, because you do have some energy here of you naturally pulling away from a situation. So other people may be wanting to know your truth, you know, and maybe wanting to balance the scales with you. Now, there could be somebody that does show up and who does feel guilty about something and wants to, or feels an obligation to make something right with you or to apologize to you as well. And I have a Libra energy there. So Taurus and Libra are really showing up. You have Gemini here too. So let's see your advice. Ace of Wands. You're preparing for this new, obviously new hope, new spark, new passion, some joy in your life. And your advice this week is to speak your mind to and act, you know, and take this opportunity and run with it. If something good comes into your life this week, this could be new passion coming into your life too as well. But watch out for short fuses. That's what I have for you. Okay, this week, there could easily be short fuses, especially if you're feeling hurt or you're feeling betrayed by any way, or there's any kind of people around you and your family that it just seems like you guys have been arguing about things, about what's fair, what's not fair. Be mindful of short fuse. Now, let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now, this is going to get interesting, all right? Because some of you could be in a relationship. I am seeing a strong relationship energy come through, and it just feels like you guys are ignoring each other, maybe giving each other, you know, not feeling it this week, or feeling separate from each other, even if you're in the same house. But also, if you're connected to somebody, some of you might be feeling like, you know, it's just not enough. I'm not seeing it. But that doesn't mean that everybody you're connecting with, because you have the Hierophant here, which tells me some of you could really be connecting with somebody that shares the same values, but it could be that we're not communicating, or they're feeling like maybe you don't want them, or really want them as much as they want you. So let's see what comes through. Aries through Pisces. Aries, Two of Pentacles. So this is where, you know, we just got to figure each other out. That's it. All right. Because we could be going back and forth, taking turns, a lot of fire there. You can make this work with an Aries this week. It could be, you know, showing up, but having to adapt to or be flexible with your schedules with one another. But there's room to grow here. Taurus, the Four of Swords, you could be giving each other space this week. You know, I do see Taurus. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to meditate, give each other space, and wait for the information, wait for spirit to tell you what to do next. Right? So you could feel some silent treatment, or just feel a little distance with a Taurus. Now, Gemini is on fire. Gemini is unpredictable this week, so keep that in mind. I do have a playful energy. They are showing up as the Page of Wands, which is fun, which is flirty, which is, I want you, I want to do something, right? You know, we always need discernment when we see pages, depending on if it's new, fine, go for it. If it's old energy and you're just sick of the impulsiveness, the recklessness, you know, this could be where you're just tired of it, you know, grow up a little bit. But I do see flirtiness, and it's always, right now with Gemini, just know that I'm trying to figure it out too. All right, so just keep that in mind. Cancer, Seven of Swords. So there is, you know, some issues going on with a Cancer. Maybe you're trying to figure out this week what's really the truth, you know, or you're noticing signs or red flags that, you know, there's just some trust issues. Maybe you're feeling something and you know something's off, but you can't tell. And there, you know, there just could be some jealousy going on between the two of you. Leo, Queen of Cups. This is perfect for you because this feels like what I'm picking up here. You know, in your feelings, really trying to digest everything that's happening, really wanting to come home to yourself and wanting people to show up for you in a different way. You're wanting to level up in relationships and feel an emotional connection with somebody, especially another Leo. And so this could actually be happening. So if you're connecting to another Leo, it seems like you both are a little bit emotional in this Cancer energy. So it could bring you guys closer together. Virgo, Two of Cups, you know, if you have conflict going on, you could be resolving conflict, finally seeing what the problem is. If it's a newer kind of energy, you know, it's kind of new, you know, we just got to figure things out, but we are talking, there is an emotional connection between you and a Virgo. Now, Libra, Wheel of Fortune, we see something coming back around this week with a Libra. Libra does show up for you, the Justice card, so it is karma, maybe an old problem coming back up, a chance to resolve it. You both feel like, you know, something keeps coming up and we need to deal with this. But the time is here for some change with you and a Libra. Scorpio, Page of Cups. So we're seeing some love with you and a Scorpio. Feelings are continuing to grow. It feels innocent. Scorpio is being innocent. Maybe they're a little bit more tender-hearted this week and a lot of water energy right now. So I do feel like very receptive to you. And if you have anything to say, they are showing up very vulnerable for you. Sagittarius, there could be an ending. Maybe you are dealing with it. You saw it coming. Remember the Three of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Hierophant. Learn your lesson. You've done it several times with the Hierophant, with a Sagittarius. You know, leave the past in the past. Capricorn, I see the Magician. So we have an awesome start here. You know, we can make it work. You know, we both are very attracted to each other, fond of each other. You know, we might tease each other a little bit, but we can make this work. Aquarius, I'm seeing some conflict with an Aquarius this week. So be mindful of their motives. They may not trust you. You may not trust them. They're, you know, there just could be some disappointment or disagreement this week with an Aquarius. Pisces hanging on, right? It looks like Pisces really trying to keep it together, wanting to keep it together, maybe acting stronger than they really are this week, but their energy is all about you. So you guys could be trying to figure something out this week that brings you closer together. I love you, Leo. Virgo, July 13th through the 19th. Let's pull an oracle first and then get into the week's energy challenge, love and life, and the good coming. Plus Aries through Pisces. All right. Nature, communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messengers. You know, this week for me, you know, with the Kazemi, with the new moon, with the even the Cancer energy and summertime energy, there is, you know, this download, this communication, this spending more time outside, but paying attention to the animals, the signs and synchronicities that are coming in this week, getting messages from birds, from what you see, from dreams this week too. All right, so flower energies as well here. Some of you paying attention to flowers as signs and synchronicity. Look them up. Take a look and see where it's going to lead you, because there is, like I said, some moments of clarity that will come through, and they might come through in the oddest ways, right? And I see fairy energy. So I know some of you may be really connected to the whole fairy lifestyle zone, and there could be something in that for you as well too. I've dreamt about fairies before, so they can come to you through your dreams. All right. So let's see the energy, the main challenge. And of course, if you haven't been getting out, get out. Get out. Get out into nature this week. Reset your mind. I see the Two of Swords. Maybe you do have an important decision to make. Maybe you are feeling kind of, you know, cluttered mentally. You know, usually I'd be able to, maybe you can't make decisions easy. You know, there's just a, this energy of, sometimes I look at a menu and I just can't decide. So I get the same thing over and over and over, but it's not what I wanted, right? Maybe you're feeling like something's off with somebody, or you're not seeing somebody's perspective and you just can't get them to see yours. There's just this, sometimes I don't know how, I don't know what to do. And so sometimes you just don't do anything yet. You go and you find some space until the answer is made clear. Now, there could be an important decision and taking a real step forward this week, finally knowing, because you get some download. The Hierophant, very spiritual energy showing up for you this week. And so lessons being learned, right? And that's where the Two of Swords and the Hierophant can say, have you done it before? If you've done it before, trust patterns. All right. Now, somebody may show themselves to you. Maybe you're questioning what happened to somebody. If somebody ghosted you, or somebody is acting different, or a dynamic just seems off, right, between you and another person this week. You may be questioning where do you stand, what's going on. But this is where this week too, there could be some clarity. Somebody could be coming back around saying, hey, this is what's been going on, and it could be a friend. It could be anybody with this energy, but pay attention to patterns with the Hierophant. Leveling up with the right people. This is always leveling up with the right people. So you may be refreshing, hitting that screen and, swiping and refreshing the page, because some people in your life are not on the same page as you. So this week it's like, figuring out who is in your group, who is seeing you for exactly who you are, who do you get along with that you can trust. Those are some of the things, right? So the biggest challenge is the World card. I don't have to repeat myself, but there is some unfinished business here with the World card showing up for you. It's like, if somebody comes around, there's a lot of people orbiting around you, you feel incomplete, but be mindful that it's not everybody. There might be one person or a couple people that, and then if one person shows up for you as kind of off or unhinged or anything like that, it's like, maybe this is where you find closure with that, but that doesn't mean that everybody is going to be showing up like that. It's just that you're getting closer to what's real. You're trying to level up with people. And so somebody could be coming back around with that World card that just feels like something isn't finished between the two of you. You have Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio energy, very fixed energy here. So in love, I'm seeing the Three of Swords. All right. There could be a third party situation that's been kind of going on that for some of you. And maybe that's what the unfinished business is. Maybe there is some sort of, ending. Somebody's going to tell you that, I'm making a decision, and somebody's going to get hurt. Right? That's just the bottom line. It doesn't mean it's you, but obviously, lessons being learned too. And, this could even be where it's just finally happening for you. The third party might be out of the picture now. And, this is also some of you being disappointed several times with relationships in general. And I'll look at Aries through Pisces and see what to watch for. But sometimes it's hard for you to trust again, right? And it's like, so somebody who maybe has hurt you, or there has been some disappointment, definitely could be feeling like we need to come back around and figure things out, right? And also there could be some slight disappointments this week with the Three of Swords. Like, you have the Two of Swords, and then you have the Three of Swords. So it's like making an important decision. Something has to go. Right. Now in life, I see the Lovers card. So really right now, it feels like love is really important for you right now. Relationships are really important for you, but it's more than just desire. This is where the Lovers card is really about logic. It's ruled by Mercury. And it's like, what my heart says I want this. My heart wants something, but my mind is saying, you know what? I can't keep sitting in this energy of not knowing where things are going. Some of you are ready to complete the cycle. Some of you are ready to build something. And if you're constantly feeling stuck with the World card as a challenge, it's like, I can't see my future. I can't build my future. And the Lovers card is, a lot of you have been doing a lot of work and really feeling connected to, I want to be in alignment and with the Hierophant, and I want to build something honest and truthful. So if somebody is not showing up for you, this is where there could be a breakup. This could be a cut, or cutting somebody out, or making a choice. So you have a bigger choice to make this week. All right. Who's making the cut? And also, even in life, somebody may reveal themselves here as having more feelings for you than they thought they had. Okay, so this can be a very spiritual connection, but sometimes the hard work comes in, I want this, but it's just not making sense. I love you, but it's not making sense, right? Or for some of you, it is also, I love you, but something has to stop. It doesn't mean we have to end a relationship, all right, with that kind of energy. Now, in life, if something doesn't feel good to you and doesn't make sense to you, there can also be making cuts to, with people that are in your life, friend group, people you share time with. The good stuff coming for you is the Page of Pentacles. So we are seeing some open doors and opportunities coming your way, ways to make money, new friends, new prospects. If some of you are single too, and you've already dealt with, this choice of breaking up with somebody because it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Right, we're seeing here, don't fret. You've got choices. You've got love coming in, right? It's really big. So some of you, it's a really big time for you right now, developing your closest relationships and connecting with the right people. So the good stuff coming in here is solid and trustworthy people enter in your life, opportunities enter in your life, and maybe even receiving, I always say this with this card, but receiving some sort of gift from somebody that you didn't expect. Now, how others might show up this week, I see the King of Cups. So we do have a lot of water energy going on. So obviously people could be in their feelings, and it can be hard to resist somebody this week with the Lovers card. They can swoon you. They're very chill, very grounded, very attractive. The King of Cups is so magnetic. It's really hard to avoid this person. So you really do have to think with your mind over your heart here. If this is somebody that there's a third party, or there's some pain involved, or unfinished business that just feels like you're not sure if you can trust somebody, especially with the retrograde energy, Virgo. You got to be mindful. These feelings are good, but patterns, and we're seeing failure. It just seems like it's not going anywhere. But also in general, though, like I said, the people around you are really showing up, very comforting, very nurturing. They want the best for you. And they do see you. So you have great support. And this is where, even in your friend group, or, your community where you go, you may start to realize that you really do fit, right? These are your people. All right. Now, advice for you, the Nine of Swords. If something's weighing on you that much, the Three of Swords, you have a difficult decision to make this week, and you know what the right thing to do is, but you may be worrying too much about how somebody else feels, and your heart is still in it. But love also isn't easy. And love, you got to remember, you can love somebody so much and still say no, and still have to tell them, things that might hurt them. And people, that is love. All right. I'm not going to let you walk out of my house if I love you looking like an asshole or acting like an asshole. I'm going to tell you, that's where love and discipline comes in. And this is where it could be hard for you to make some sort of, you might hear something, you might figure something out, you might get a download, you might wake up in the middle of the night and be like, man, this person is just not honest. This person is just somebody that continues. And it could be a friend, you know, or a family member. And I just can't do it anymore. You know, it's just, it's taking up too much of my energy. I'm losing sleep over it. So if you're losing sleep over something this week, that's probably the thing that you have to make the biggest decision about. Now, let's look at Aries through Pisces. So a lot of energy going on here. We have lovers and we have separation here. All right. And we have making a choice, you know, especially if there's a third party, you know, or choosing between lovers this week. Right. And we also do see the Page of Pentacles, which is a new prospect coming in, a new offer, sincere. So let's see how this plays out here with Aries through Pisces. Aries, the Sun card. All right, big hell yes with an Aries for some of you. All right, very playful energy, clarity coming in, you know, with that Sun card, that Kazemi. Some of you will know whether this is just a friend or this is, you know, really falling in love. But either way, it feels very promising and very happy energy between the two of you. Maybe just spending some time together outside. You know, this week you could find yourself getting together, dating, and doing something that brings you closer. So we are seeing some luck around you in an Aries. And a soul connection too. Taurus, Knight of Swords, right? So intentional communication, you know, I need to know where things are going. I do feel earthy energy here with a Taurus. So it does feel like they're kind of being straightforward here this week, direct, right? You know, so we do have to make a choice, and that's it. And I don't think there's, I don't think there's going to be a hardness to this either. It's going to be it is or it isn't, all right, the choice here, because it feels like they want to see things move fast, and you may notice that their energy is moving faster this week. Like they are really focused on where things are going. Now, Gemini, the Five of Cups, there could be some disappointment, things not turning out the way you wanted them to. There could be, you know, they're dealing with depression or loss or regret. And it's hard to deal with this energy because your heart wants to heal, wants to fix, wants to do. But this is where you have to decide, you know, am I going to keep going back to the past? Are you going to live in the past? Is this going to happen again? But you could make a choice here to mend things, you know, because it does feel like they do have some regret. Cancer, Seven of Swords. So you may find out something about a Cancer this week that you didn't see coming, or they haven't been fully transparent with you. Now, you may be making that choice. You may find out something that hurts, or you may have to say something to a Cancer that they didn't see coming and it hurts. You're facing some sort of truth or making a decision about the relationship. All right. So I do see red flag here with a Cancer. Leo, things are kind of unfolding with you and a Leo. It looks like just play cool. That's it. Play cool with the Leo this week. Leo, if you go back to their reading, is kind of dealing with some internal stuff and, you know, just wanting something real, but trying to figure out what it is. And, you know, a little bit of time and allowing things to just happen naturally and not forcing things with a Leo this week. Virgo, Ace of Wands. All right, so you know, the party getting started. It's time to really hold that light and say your truth. You want to get things started. You want to light the fire up somebody's ass this week. You know, it's be careful of short fuses right now. But at the same time, it looks like communication between you and another Virgo. And you both really, you know, are interested in each other. Libra, Eight of Swords. We have some, you know, negative energy with a Libra. Maybe it just feels like no matter what you say or do, it always leads to some sort of disappointment or doubt. They could be questioning everything. You could be questioning everything. They feel stuck. They might be stuck in another relationship. Maybe this is where you're making a choice. Like it's just the energy that kind of feels you're feeling responsible in some way. Scorpio, Knight of Wands. So Scorpio really showing up for you this week. Things could move pretty fast and spicy with a Scorpio. You know, if things have been moving kind of slow with the Page of Pentacles, I definitely see a Scorpio energy paying more attention to you. Sagittarius, things might get heavy this week with a Sag. You know, maybe, you know, it's rough. It's been rough without you, or it's been rough with you. I don't know, but we got to figure something out, because it looks like a Sag is hitting a wall, and it could be done, or, you know, could be finally just a breakthrough. Capricorn, I'm seeing Ace of Swords, so we're getting that communication, and you know, we're seeing that clarity, but now we have to make a choice of what to do with it. Are we going to move forward? This doesn't always guarantee. Sometimes it's talk or it's insight, but we don't know what to do with it. Aquarius, Four of Swords, maybe taking a little bit of a break this week. You may notice that they're needing some space. They could be just temporary reset. You know, I just need some time to think. Give it a couple days. And Pisces, the Magician, right? So Pisces feeling it. Pisces wanting to communicate, talk to you, and talk about things. Talk about, you know, depending on what kind of relationship you're in, it could be very new, just very attracted to you. I love you, Virgo. I almost said Pisces. All right, Libra, July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle first, and then we'll look at the energy, what to watch for in love, life, the good coming in, and Aries through Pisces. All right, becoming braver. Number 5. So this could be a week of change. Needing change. You've been sitting with change. You've been wanting change, but in limbo, you know, making a decision. I see resilience, experience, growing stronger, and a fresh perspective. And we do have that Kazemi, which is what I've been focusing on in this reading today in the new moon. You know, which can be, you know, the whole week, you know, it's coming in, clarity, a decision about your life, a decision about a job, a decision about a relationship. But becoming braver tells me that you're not holding back as much anymore about the things that you need or want, or making choices. You know, it's like, I need to step up to the plate, and I'm seeing things differently. Maybe it has been me kind of holding myself back. And now I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna say the thing I want to say. I'm going to decide to give something a shot. So let's look at the tarot. My Libra's becoming braver. Something you wouldn't have done a year ago, right? So this is where, you know, even in the retrograde, something coming back, and you have a chance to do something different. You know, a year ago, you wouldn't have done it. This year, maybe you're not so afraid to show yourself, be yourself. All right, 2 of Cups. Right, so we are seeing it's, you know, communicating your feelings to somebody else this week. Somebody maybe, you know, doing the same to you. You know, somebody saying, this is what's been really going on behind the scenes. We need to talk, you know. So you could find yourself having a whole different perspective of somebody in your life when you know the story that's been going on behind the scenes, what's been going on in their world. You know, sometimes we're just assuming that everybody's experiencing things the way we are. Everybody's got to be having problems like we do. And, you know, that's not the case. Or, you know, you've been curious about how somebody else feels. Well, this week is talking about deepening those connections through conversation. So, having a conversation with somebody, or resolving something with somebody. So very, very big energy for you. King of Cups, right? The energy this week for you is emotional. That's Cancer, Pisces, very strong Scorpio energy. Being able to see things deeper, you know, it's one of these, somebody may show up for you. You're talking to somebody, you're connecting with somebody, but you can read what's really going on beneath the surface, right? You're the truth seer, clarity this week, right? And you're growing stronger and trusting what you feel and what you see, instead of trying to, my Libras tend to talk themselves out of everything. Well, having the Scorpio energy as your week, this watery energy, feels very content and feels very good. Now, there could be a person coming into your life of watery energy. Somebody obviously here is showing up and has deeper feelings for you, really feels the connection. There are just people in your life that you just feel very warm-hearted, very connected. They talk to you, the way they approach you, and you just feel like there's something more to them. And this is even with friends, family, coworkers, people you see, this energy of just knowing who really is genuine, who's really authentic. That's so this is even you too. This is you not being afraid to express your feelings too. So your experiences this week could really be soft and a little bit more subtle, or they could be big whammies where you see the truth about somebody that, you might even see somebody really hurting, but they have a nice mask on. And they're really trying to hide it. That kind of energy, right? Your biggest challenge, 6 of Wands, fear of failure. All right, especially if it comes to life or work, taking that chance, trying to figure out your path, not giving yourself the credit, maybe excuses, there's competition. And sometimes your ego can get in the way too, or somebody else's ego. Feeling unseen, not noticed, can be one of the things that, is coming back up for you too. But remember, you're stronger now, and that could be in your head. A year ago, you might have assumed that nobody sees you, nobody cares, nobody feels you, nobody's paying attention. One person in particular might not have been paying attention to you. There could have been they had a bunch of battles going on behind the scenes, right? I'm very Marsy, so everything for me is very stressful battle. I mean, some of you guys have the most peaceful lives, probably don't even resonate with that. But I do see the challenge this week could be other people's egos, or you feeling and seeing it. But people acting arrogant or even unhinged at times, or just self-centered, and you taking it personal. With this energy here, you may be feeling like it's something you did. But also, your fear of failure, going back to this, you may be being asked to really step up to the plate this week, and really go for something. And there could be an announcement about a position or stepping up, and don't underestimate yourself. Now, in love, I see the Tower card. So there could be something shocking this week when it comes to love. All right, if there is any instability or uncertainties, or the relationship was built on just emotional investment and no foundation, it's going to come to a head. There is a Tower moment here, which says, if there's something not working, we're gonna get to the bottom of it. There could be, watch out for arguments, watch out for getting caught up in something that you didn't see. Well, that doesn't make you can't. The Tower card, sometimes you can feel it coming, it's coming, so you could prepare for it. But sometimes with this energy, it's sporadic. So there may be some things that you can't, especially in love, you can't see coming, right? But it's how you react to it, or what you think. So if somebody in love it's uncertain, or they're being kind of unhinged, or they're going through something in their life, you definitely could really feel it, but you can decide how to react to it. But also the good side of this too is there could be a wake-up call, an awakening, somebody telling you. And I'll look at Aries through Pisces. Somebody may reveal to you, there's been so much going on in my world and I haven't had time for you, but people get sick of complaining or telling people their problems, and some people don't mind announcing it to the world. So, but a Scorpio energy isn't always going to reveal to you what's really going on behind the scenes. Scorpio energy tends to retreat, okay, and back up and need to process on their own. So I'm not saying your person is a Scorpio, but I am seeing strong Marsy energy showing through for your people. So expect the unexpected with the Tower card when it comes to love. Now, life, the 5 of Pentacles, maybe you feel like you've been dealt you know, a raw hand, right? Or things just aren't working out, or you're struggling, you feel like you're struggling, you know, financially. Some of you could be, some of you might not be struggling financially, but you just feel like, you know, is this it, you know, or this wasn't what I expected. You know, I just feel like it could even be more money, more problems, you know. But I am seeing here, though, there is a negative energy towards how you're viewing life in general. You may be feeling stuck in a situation, you're carrying the weight on your own, you're wanting something to change, or, you know, you just always kind of feel like you're just one step behind, or you're always outside looking in with everybody else. So you could be comparing yourself and thinking other people have it good, or thinking other people got, you know, got the memo and you didn't. So there may be a redirection this week when it comes to, obviously, life, work, career, maybe making an important decision with a reveal that happens. The good stuff coming, I see the Ace of Cups. So good news, my friends. We got new home, new love, baby announcement, something good, opening of the heart. So somebody could be opening their heart this week, which changes the direction in your relationships. And it's like, wow, show me the love. Here it is. I feel it, or I'm getting somebody's attention. It's a start. It's a start. So we do see new love coming in, and the Ace of Cups sometimes can be now to a month in the coming month. How are people showing up around you? I see the Devil card, so they could be very triggering for you. Especially with the Tower card in love, you know, it just feels like, why am I being so triggered? Why am I getting so upset? Remember, we'll take a look, but if the Tower card is showing up for you or another person, or you guys are going through a breakup, and something is just unsettling, it's not the time to really try to fix things right now. We got to kind of look at what the problem was, and let it settle, and then see if we can build something. The tower has to fall, the chaos has to go away before we can really figure out if we can build something here. Now, other people might be feeling very, that you could be dealing with selfishness. You could be dealing with people dealing with their own shadow sides, dealing with ego, dealing with addictions, dealing with selfishness and ego. I mean, that's the bottom line. People's desires, they want. And, you know, this week, you know, you tend to be the people pleaser of the zodiac, you know, like, I want to keep the peace, you know. And so you can't keep the peace for everybody. Some people are just, you know, losing it. And sometimes you just have to back out and be like, you know, I have the courage now to say, hey, enough's enough. All right. You have some issues. You've got to deal with it. I can't always be your punching bag. And of course, this could also be just people dealing with a lot of personal problems, and they're very focused on themselves, because the biggest challenge here is the Six of Wands, which can show self-centeredness, ego, arrogance, control and energy, jealousy, things like that. So, you know, other people may be showing up like that. Don't get sucked into it, right? You know, pull your energy back and be like, all right, I love you, I see you, but no thanks. All right. So advice for you, the Nine of Wands. You can't take on anymore. All right. You've got a headache here, right? You know, something that's been ongoing for you, though. It does look like this could be the week where you're finally making some important decision when it comes to something you've been stressing about for quite some time, maybe career. But I am seeing here your cups half, you know, empty here, you know, or half full, however you want to look at it. And it's saying you got to take care of yourself here. You know, you put too much pressure on yourself, and you have limited energy here to really be taking care of others. So some self-care this week. Now let's look at Aries through Pisces. This is where we do see love coming in for you, Ace of Cups, and we do see some very sensitive energy, but we are dealing with some ego here, and the Tower card. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Aries, the star card. So it looks like whatever you're going through with an Aries, you'll recover quick. Don't lose hope here. But something that's not working for you in an Aries, and if they're going through something, they're going through something, and you can't fix it. They need to, but it'll work itself out, right? This is good. This is really good. Taurus, 8 of Pentacles. You guys will figure things out too. Maybe right now you guys are giving each other a little bit of space. They're not avoiding you. They're just trying. This is the way they process. They put themselves to work, and I want to figure it out. Now, if you are dealing with a Taurus and you're not hearing from them, work could be a problem for them, or they're looking for a new job, or they're losing their job, and they're trying to figure out their life, their foundation. Gemini, 4 of Cups, right? So Gemini also, maybe this is too soon. It looks like the 4 of Cups, not feeling happy, not feeling fulfilled. It's not stable with you and a Gemini right now, but just remember, I'm still trying to figure out Gemini energy. Gemini is kind of all over the place right now. Very good energy at times, and then sometimes it's like a whammy, like what the hell where'd that come from? So, maybe Gemini is being very protective of themselves right now, and they don't know what they want. So you cannot read into this right now, but you also cannot engage in it either. You have to let them figure their shit out. All right. Because right now it seems like Geminis are kind of trying to figure themselves out, and they can't take care of another person at the same time. So you may get this energy with a Gemini of, they're disinterested, or don't seem interested. Now, Cancer, I'm seeing the Judgment card. So an important decision this week about a relationship with a Cancer. We're making that judgment call. Are we able to rise above something, face the truth, and be able to move our relationship in a new direction? Or are we living in the past and it just seems like nothing's changing? So it'll be one way or the other for you guys with a Cancer. But there could be a judgment, which means a second chance coming in. Leo, Queen of Cups. So Leo, really feeling you. You got the King of Cups and Queen of Cups. The King of Cups was up here for your position. And the Queen of Cups, it looks like you guys are vibing on the same emotional frequency this week. We both really kind of feel like we need some loving, nurturing, and maybe you guys are just really supportive of each other this week. So if you're talking to a Leo, you may feel seen and understood. Virgo, 7 of Swords. There could be some complications with the Virgo. Maybe you feel like they're holding something back. They're not always being transparent. There could be calling each other out this week, or just, red flags. Watch out for the red flags. Some truth will come up about a Virgo. Libra, the World card. So you have time to move forward. This new chapter, the world, success, doing something different. You may be feeling complete this week with another Libra. Like we finally reach some sort of place where it feels comfortable, right? And that can show up like, all right, we're comfortable with each other. We're ready to move forward. Or we're ready to move on from each other. Scorpio, 8 of Wands. So things kind of all over the place with the Scorpio. They may be under a lot of pressure as well too. Remember, I'm referencing the Tower card here as well. So be mindful of the way we communicate with the Scorpio. Things may land. They may be under a lot of pressure that you're unaware of, and you may take it personal, especially if it's coming at you. And you could avoid a fight here, or an argument, or a disagreement. But also you may just be getting the clarity. They may finally open up and say, hey, look, my life's falling apart, or, things between us are just unstable. So we really need to talk about it. Sagittarius, we have the Empress card. All right, so Sag here finds you very attractive, maybe even in love with you, very magnetic energy with the Empress card. So if there is a disagreement, or they are going through something, you guys will find a way to build from trust, and rebuild. Capricorn, Queen of Swords. So Capricorn here still kind of trying to figure you out, right? Still got their mind on you, still thinking about you. There may be some conversation this week that seems pretty light and fun. You guys may be talking about the future. You may be talking things out, you know, hey, let's just talk about, you know, what happened. Where did things go? Where did things go wrong or right? Aquarius, the magician card. So communication with an Aquarius as well too. And some of these can be new people that show up unexpectedly in your life too, with that Ace of Cups. Now it's like Aquarius really feeling you, really feeling your vibe. Pisces, you may have some quiet time with the Pisces this week. You may notice that they're being a little bit more solemn or silent. You know, if they are going through a tower or realizing something, they may be trying to process or give something a little bit of space so that they can really think about what they want. I love you, Libra. All right, Scorpio, July 13th to the 19th. I had a card fly for you, but I'm going to pull a second one too. I'm just going to believe strange encounters this week. I mean, it literally flew. And so I can see your suspicion, you know, the suspicion in your eyes here. It's like, what was that? You know, why did that happen? And or something good just happened, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's got to be something tied to that. All right, nothing is just happens, or nothing just comes without you know, the fine print, right? So read the fine print. But so there could be a strange encounter this week, and I forgot to change the banner for you. But let's take a look at the energy this week, and then the main challenge, and then love and life, and then Aries through Pisces. What is your oracle for the week? Becoming braver for you too as well. And Libra just had this as well too. And I just, you know, really shuffled the cards. Experiences this week, growing stronger, a fresh perspective and resilience. So, you know, this week there could be moments where a year ago you would have dealt with them a lot different, but you're actually seeing how you respond to situations, or something could be coming back around and you get in another shot to experience it. And this is where the becoming braver is. It's like, you know something, here it is again, it's showing up for a reason. Maybe this is the path that I'm meant to go on. Maybe, you know, my path, this plan, you know, maybe I can do this, right? Maybe I used to second guess myself. So you may have an opportunity to do something that you've dreamed about. Let's take a look at tarot. This sounds kind of interesting. You know, and you may not have liked something a year ago, and then all of a sudden now you're like, ooh, I can see myself really doing that. I mean, I'm talking to birds now, and I remember being like, who the hell watches birds? Frankie's becoming a bird watcher. And I used to see it in the cartoons when I was younger. And I used to be like, man, I don't want to become an old lady who's a bird watcher. Ooh, your cards are flying. Let's see. All right, Queen of Swords. Right, this just flew out. So look at that look. Look at those eyes. Look at that discernment. Look at that judging. You know, my judgy owls here are Libra and Scorpio. All right. So yeah, curious energy this week. There could be a person showing up for you with the answers. All right, maybe you know, somebody, you know, it's one of those, you're standing in line and somebody says something and you're like, what? Repeat that. All right, and making important decisions too, and seeing clear. So this week could be a very clear week where you're figuring out the whys that you always have, and you know, you're just able to figure things out and get the answers, and with the fresh perspective. So it feels like maybe things have cleared up for you a little bit, and now you're able to see things for what they are. Now you have the Ace of Cups showing up, and the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which is an opportunity. So for some of you who are single, maybe there's something strange happening here, you know, somebody watching you, or somebody trying to get to know you or connect with you. Now, with this being at the bottom of the deck, this can be people, friends, your social circle, your community, your family, you know, but also new love and romance. Maybe somebody acting kind of weird and awkward, and you're looking at them like, what's going on here? And let them in. It looks like somebody's trying to get closer to you. Now, your biggest challenge this week, look at this, faith, right? Struggling with or fear of disappointment, you know, not wanting to let go out of fear of disappointment. So this is something that could have been built up for quite some time, because the Queen of Swords can become very cold and detached, especially depending on how many times you've been hurt. So even if you've got new people around you, you could, you know, be coming across as kind of guarded with the Queen of Swords, and, you know, giving off you might think you're approachable, but this sometimes can be hard to approach, and people can't read you. But to me, it feels like you're feeling like you're going to be disappointed. You see something, but you want to know what's up. You want to have all the answers. And that is where your distrust comes from. You may get clarity this week. You may know something. Somebody may say something, or you may be interested in something, but immediately the knowing isn't just enough. You want to show me the money, show me the proof, show me the next step. And so rebuilding trust is going to be a big thing for you. Now, in love, I see the Temperance. Things look pretty chill in love this week, all right? I don't say that very often, but it came through. So it looks like, hey, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, and we're working it together, you know? Some days might be you're doing a little more, you're calling, texting, or, you know, cooking. But then the next day, you know, it could be your partner's really showing up for you. And, you know, if you are single, you know, if you get called to go somewhere this week, go. All right, figure it out, open up, stop trying to question everything and question everybody. Again, you're just so Scorpio. I love you, but we're suspicious of every friggin' thing that moves. All right, now the Ace of Cups is showing this could be the right time when something is somebody's trying to reveal themselves to you, and it could be through your people. Right? If you're single, it could be through your people. So if you get invited somewhere, go. It could be a friendship that is starting to form. Somebody's realizing they have feelings for you. All right. So if somebody's acting kind of awkward around you, or seems like they're being a little bit more chill or too chill, it could be that they don't want to mess up around you. All right, you have Sagittarius energy here too, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, strong Aquarius. All right, in life, I'm seeing the Four of Swords, all right? So maybe things are kind of peaceful. Yay, good, finally, right? Maybe, you know, things are quiet for a reason when it comes to life. You're getting a little bit of a vacation here. All right, so things kind of quiet on the home front. Things kind of, you know, maybe it's just giving yourself a little bit of space and breaks. And if your life is quiet right now, this is a good time to, you know, reset, do the things that you need to do to feel good about yourself. Maybe taking a step back and not needing to be on right now. Put your armor down. All right. So I am seeing life seems kind of peaceful and quiet, you know, giving yourself some rest. Now, the good stuff that might be coming in this week, ooh, the Knight of Wands, right? So for some of you, out of the blue, somebody could ask you to go somewhere, you know, passionate energy, you know, let's go on an adventure. But also you may feel pulled your drive might be really good this week. So if you're thinking about getting stuff done at work, or you're feeling really creative, it looks like you've got some energy here. All right. So even though Four of Swords is saying life is kind of quiet right now, enjoy it. This is where we have space for something random and fun to come in this week. And somebody very passionate about you too. So this could be even where something new is starting. And Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So for my Scorpios, it seems to be a window of opportunity for you to connect with people. But the trust here for you is really, and fear of disappointment is really, really showing up as well. Things might be too like, oh, this is, you know, here they come too fast, right? You know, oh, that didn't sound, but this is what I'm what I'm seeing for you. Now, how others might be showing up for you too as well. You got the Knight of Pentacles. So people may be cautious around you too. And going back to what I said up here, you may be giving off a vibe like something's, your face is just saying it all, or you're keeping people a little bit distant from you. But I see a lot of people showing up for you with these two cards here, where it's like you have the opportunity to really have some fun this week, but also your friends seem to be very responsible, but also very cautious, really wanting to attend to this relationship or keep it going. You have people very invested, and you may have people around you being more reliable. There's the word, coming through for you, following through with anything they said that they would do, being very helpful energy from others, especially friends or coworkers. Now, your advice before I get into Aries through Pisces is 6 of Swords. Go with the weather. All right, go wherever it's taking you right now. There's a new opportunity maybe showing up with the new moon showing up, and you might not have all the answers, but see where it takes you. All right, don't let fear, suspicion, lack of trust. It looks like the weather's really clearing up for you. Things are less difficult this week, and the 6 of Swords is kind of being chill about things. Let's just see where the current takes us. Now, Aries through Pisces, this is where you lack some trust, all right? And I do see a lot of movement when it comes to relationships this week. Somebody really feeling you, and somebody really feeling serious about you. Now, and it could be a friendship, coworker that's getting more passionate, heating up, or it could be somebody that you're connected to. It is saying this week, just let it happen. Like, let things be. If they are a little bit, quiet, or you feel like you need some alone time, take it. Or if another person is kind of pulling away from you, don't misread it. Right? It looks like love for you is really kind of doing a cool thing right now. So let's see Aries, 2 of Swords. Aries may be trying to figure out or needing to make an important decision regarding the relationship, or they have a lot going on in their life, right? So you may read this as, uncertainty, or, why they, you may feel suspicious about an Aries because they're not cooperating with your time in, right? So just have a little bit of patience with an Aries. They're around you, and they need to make the decision. You can't make it for them. Taurus, 2 of Cups. It looks like you're continuing to deepen your relationship. If it's new, it's about understanding each other, trying to come from a place of love, and just, it could move pretty fast because you have the Ace of Cups and 2 of Cups. So it looks like this week with a Taurus, conversation and your hearts are just kind of opening up towards one another. If you have conflict, this could be a week that we're just on the same page. We're resolving it. Gemini, Queen of Wands. So Gemini coming in pretty hot. This could be even a new Gemini coming into your life, but they feel very strongly attracted to you. They may be coming back around to really make it work with that Queen of Wands. Just know that this is also, I want to be the one to take action. I want to be the one that steps up and shows up. Cancer, I see the World card, so things feeling good with you and a Cancer, finally completing something, so we know where we're at. We know where we're going. They could be coming back around if they feel like there's any unfinished business with you, but it looks good. It looks like things are coming together with you and a Cancer. Leo, 10 of Cups. You guys could get together this week too. It looks like you are forming bonds that could last a long time. They may see the whole picture with you, and just kind of letting things happen naturally with the Leo. Virgo, really attentive this week. You may notice Virgo putting in more effort towards you. You have an amazing reading today, Scorpio. King of Pentacles. It's like, what's going on here? Virgo is, I want to make this last. All right. Libra, 8 of Cups, right? So Libra could be, if you already know it, you already feel it, kind of going their own way. This is where maybe they need some time to figure out their own path. So they could be, you could feel like they're avoiding you. But this might be something that you already know, you kind of, even you feel the pull. You know that we might need to go our own way for now, even if it's difficult. Scorpio, you have the Knight of Cups. You have 3 knights showing up for you. This is awesome energy. Really a lot of love here. You and another Scorpio really feeling each other. This could be a good week for you guys to express your feelings. Sagittarius, 8 of Pentacles. If you're feeling like they're avoiding you, they could be working, doing things, or just keeping themselves busy. They really want this time to get stuff done. I wouldn't misread that one. That to me just feels like I got a lot going on. I got to attend to my work. Capricorn, 5 of Swords. Things could be complicated with a Capricorn. You know, watch their intentions, right? Maybe you can't trust them. Maybe you feel like, you know, no matter what you say, they don't get it. They don't hear you, you know, or they feel the same way towards you, right? It can be mutual misunderstanding. But I do see some conflict here with the Capricorn. Aquarius, I see them coming back around too. Maybe both of you guys feel a strong pull towards one another. And so it could be a do-over for some of you, or it could just feel fated for some of you. Pisces, 9 of Pentacles, right? So Pisces also kind of focused in on themselves right now too. It doesn't mean that this can't be an opportunity. It looks like they definitely are ready for a relationship. They may not jump right in though. I love you guys. All right, Sagittarius, July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle first, and then we'll look at the energy, your main challenge in love and life, Aries through Pisces as well. You can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. You know, it speaks for itself. You know, especially if you're trying or you're hoping and you're living your life and comparing your life now to the way it was before. You know, it's a new opportunity. It's to change things, and it's different now. And there could be new things trying to come into your life too as well in the present moment. But if you're constantly being pulled back or thinking, even in your mentally, like I just want things to be the way they were before, that's not possible. All right, things grow, things evolve. It is possible to grow from before, but going back is not recommended. So let's take a look at the tarot and see where this takes us. All right, 9 of Cups. Attitude of gratitude showing up. So there could be some wish fulfillment this week. You know, feeling good, wanting to feel good, enjoyment, finding enjoyment and pleasure this week. Right, and in self-care too as well. Now we have the Justice underneath. I just wanted to pull it, but sometimes it looks like something is in the past, could have been a blessing for you. Page of Wands this week. Here we go. Time for Sag to tap into that inner fire, that inner child, new experiences. You know, looking at this week through the lens of newness and being playful and flirting. There could be some flirting this week. There could be somebody trying to talk to you. Maybe you are talking to somebody. Maybe you're still thinking about somebody from the past, right? And somebody new's trying to come into your life. You know, and this is, you know, giving yourself a shot at something new is what I'm feeling. Your main challenge, Ace of Swords, right? Could be this week being able to express yourself clearly. You may be struggling. It's funny because Sag, you have Mars and Uranus and Gemini opposing you constantly. So you may be questioning things constantly, and you know, whether or not you may be trying to make a decision, you know, and not knowing which way to go. And there is an energy with the Kazemi of a reveal, knowing the truth, getting some sort of answer to the confusion that you've been complaining about, not knowing which direction something's going in. So I am seeing that could be a challenge that you've been dealing with, but also that when you get the truth, it could also be difficult to, the truth sets you free, but sometimes the truth can be hard to accept or hard to see. Now, the challenge for you too is also pursuing something that's coming your way. You may get an invitation or an offer, and you could be questioning it. But remember, being in the present moment, if you're trying to change your life or do something different, this is about honoring all the opportunities that are coming your way and trying something new. Now, in love, I am seeing the Queen of Swords. You may be judging people too much, and for one, it says discernment. Use discernment. If you're having trouble reading somebody or trusting somebody this week, you already know the answer. All right, you already know. You're showing up as the Queen of Swords in your love situation. All right. And there's obviously opportunity to keep it going or keep trying, but the problem is the challenge is you just don't trust something. Now, this can also show up though too, Sag, is that you see something, there's something good happening for you, and you're getting in this invite, or somebody's trying to talk to you, or you're questioning things, and it's actually really good, right? And so there could be some blurry energy here where the truth will come out. The truth always does come out. But with the Judgment card, some of you could be judging a book by its cover. Some of you could be questioning everything, and it's just because, you don't trust. You just came from a situation. But trust, though, too, that if it's somebody that has a repeated pattern, that the pattern is still going to be showing up. Now, in life, some of you may be feeling like you were dealt a raw hand. You may be dealing with some financial stuff right now, paying for things, buying things, fixing things. You feel like you're on your own. And if you are well off, you just may not be, happy. You just might be like, I thought it would be different. I thought it would be better than this. And I'm just not feeling as, I feel still like I'm not a part of something, right? Or I feel kind of like this isn't making me happy. So there could be some difficult times coming in right now with life. But that's more of a mindset too. You may be judging situations. Some of you, maybe you had it really good 10 years ago. Maybe you were married, you had it great, and now you're struggling because you're taking care of business yourself, right? And so you might be judging yourself harshly, and yet this card here says, you got it, mate. You got your needs met. It's your mindset, you might be expecting, there's a whole energy here that says, I'm expecting things to be difficult. I'm expecting things. I have to take care of everything. I have to do everything because it's not going to get done. I'm expecting somebody not to show up for me. So this week, the clarity coming through for you could be, letting somebody help you, letting somebody in, or not expecting the worst to happen. And we'll look at love, because it does look like here in Love and Life, like you are dealing with constant somebody not, you feel like you're on your own. You feel like somebody keeps you at arm's length. You feel distant. You maybe maybe this is you rejecting people that actually honestly could be really good for you. So we'll see Aries through Pisces. You may be focused on something that you expect or want from somebody, or somebody from the past. But this is saying here, you're judging people that are showing up for you that really want to get to know you. All right. So the good stuff coming this week, I see the Emperor. I see an Emperor. So one, you could be leveling up a new job, new business, new position. getting your ducks in a row, things starting to look better. And two, there could be somebody that's starting off as the Page of Wands and you're judging them, and they could end up being the Emperor for you. And this could be where you are with somebody, or somebody's coming into your life to bring more stability. How are others showing up this week for you? The High Priestess, right? So this could be where you're having a hard time discerning. It feels like somebody's holding back something, or you feel something spiritual. You feel like they're just not saying what they really want to say. Your intuition is strong, right? And sitting, especially with your knowing here with the Queen of Swords. But this also says that you know the truth, but you're wanting it to be something different as well. And it also can be showing you people are a little bit more quieter around you, like they're not telling you everything. And it could be just they're naturally feeling a need to be distant. So the silence here for you this week, people showing up silent, it's going to be discernment for you. I know what it is. I know, and I can't second guess myself. Or two, it might be somebody's pulling away because they're observing you as well, because they really are seeing something more, or they're having feelings for you. So let's look at Aries through Pisces and see, well, first your advice card, Two of Swords, right? Don't talk yourself out of it. And obviously this week you may have to make important decisions. That's always, my intuition says this. Why am I trying to prove myself wrong again? Especially if it's a repeated pattern. But also it's like somebody trying to enter your life. Let them get to know them is what I'm hearing. You have Cancer energy, Aries energy showing up for you, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sag. Now, let's look at this, though, because you have somebody trying to come in and flirt, right? But some of you, this is the energy. So let's see Aries through Pisces. Aries, Nine of Wands. All right, so you have an ongoing battle with an Aries, and, this is where they might be coming back in to give it another shot, but things are getting kind of heavy and over it. We're tired, or, I don't know if I want to do this again right now. So if there is a little setback, it could be that. And it doesn't mean it's you, especially if it's new, but your Aries might be like, I don't know if I want to do it again. Bottom line, I just don't. That's a common theme. I just don't know. I want the responsibilities, but it does still say don't give up. Just try not to read too much into that one. Now, Taurus, the Three of Swords. Obviously, you know some truth about a Taurus, or you're feeling separation, or you're feeling disappointed with a Taurus. This week, you could be deciding to cut things off, or facing the reality that you gave it a shot and it didn't work out. You could just be still separated if that's the case. And I have Gemini, Six of Wands. So Gemini pulling through this week, right? It looks like Gemini wanting some of your attention. Show me, right? Keeping it light and fun. And, you might be a Gemini trying to get your attention, see where it goes. Cancer, Two of Wands. You could be making plans with a Cancer this week. One of the things I'm seeing is they don't want to just completely jump in. They want to make sure everything feels good. Everything is, so you could be feeling this kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, especially if they're trying to resolve something from their past. Leo, the Strength card, right? So Leo here, kind of holding back a little, but it doesn't mean that they're not attracted to you, or they don't admire you. Remember, some of this could even be new. You got them around you, you feel something. Don't judge a book by its cover here, but Leo, feels like they are feeling the connection with you. Virgo, Four of Swords, might take a time out this week. They may need some time to really think about stuff. And usually I say, just give it a couple days. Libra, Six of Cups. You could find yourself really close to a Libra this week. You guys really want to see each other, or want to connect. Feeling the love with a Libra. Scorpio, the Moon card. There could be, confusion with the Scorpio. It feels like they come around, they have feelings, but things don't always change. And it might be one of these times where, you just feel like, I don't know if I can trust this, and the moon card, it's hard because, you feel the feelings, but we never discuss the future. Sagittarius, I see the 7 of Wands, right? So you do have your guards up, and also you need to have boundaries in some cases. You and another Sag really could be confronting some challenges this week. If it's going to work, you'll make it through it. Capricorn, 5 of Cups, maybe dealing with some doubt this week with a Capricorn, feeling like, I wish things turned out a little bit differently. They definitely feel that way. Doesn't always mean that they're ready to get back together, or they could be processing some grief from their past, but there is some regret there. Aquarius, the Hierophant, you may level up this week with an Aquarius, depending on where you're at. Hey, let's get together, or hey, let's move in. Pisces, 10 of Cups, things coming together with you and a Pisces. They want to see the whole thing with you. All right. They think about you. They think about a life with you. I love you guys. Take care. Hello, Capricorn. Let's look at July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle and then look at the energy and love and life. Of course, Aries through Pisces. We're all crazy here. We're all mad here, Capricorn. You got this card. Everyone is a little bit different. Stop comparing yourself if that's the case this week, right? Or if you're judging somebody, right? Go look in a mirror, right? I'm Capricorn progress. So if anything I say hits a nerve, all right, I'm poking at myself too. But sometimes, we're quick to judge other people, and we forget how quickly others could be even thinking we're doing some crazy shit, right? And everybody's just different. Everybody's doing this week. You may find that you are around some crazy people, right? And or you just, the way somebody else is doing something is not the way you would do it, and it doesn't mean it's wrong or right. So this is your message for the week, and this can be so innocent as just you just kind of wondering what the hell's going on with somebody. Why are they reacting? And some people have their moments, and maybe it's their moment to shine, their moment to put the crazy hat on, right? And you've been there and done it, so this is where we show compassion. Or maybe you're judging yourself. I always go to that route too. You're sitting there going, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Or have you ever woke up in the middle of the night and punched yourself because you think 15 years ago, or you were dreaming about something you said or did, and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Or you just caught on to something that you were doing and you were like, nobody said anything, so these moments could be coming up. And you're being reminded here that everybody's friggin' nuts. All right, everybody's nuts this week. So nobody gives a shit, and people really don't even think. You might think you have somebody's attention. You might think somebody's thinking about you, Capricorn, but they're not, right? Maybe for the moment, all right, or but most people are thinking about themselves. So let's take a look at the energy, the challenge, and what to watch for in love. We have Queen of Cups energy here at the bottom of the deck. So we have a lot of Cancer energy, the Mercury retrograde in Cancer and so forth. And it's opposing your signs. So, it could be creating like these oppositions, these kind of energies of something returning to that you've seen before, something coming back around that you're like, I just don't get it. I don't get why this person keeps doing something, or this keeps happening. And with this opposition, it can be stressing you out a little bit too with Cancer energy here. There could be a person that coming towards you this week too that's stressing you out. That is somebody different. But you're seeing the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Swords underneath that. So maybe some of you are like questioning what was somebody's taste. Or, you know, what the hell's going on? Was somebody acting strange too? So there could be somebody here that has feelings for you, but they're acting awkward. Let's take a look. This is a weird, wild reading so far, Capricorn. Your energy this week. Look at you, Four of Pentacles, holding back, right? You know, I'm minding my own business, right? But it looks like you're having a hard time. Maybe this week you could have a hard time really letting go, or just kind of very protective of yourself this week. What's your biggest challenge? Page of Pentacles. You know, where to give or what to do or what to say, you know, or who to trust. Somebody's back, or somebody you're talking to, something's coming out. You don't really know what they want. And you don't know, honestly, there's a lot about honesty, and you don't know what to believe. You know, with the Seven of Swords here too, and the Nine, it's like, is it too good to be true? You know, the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Cups. It's like, maybe something so crazy happening. It's like, I get the word disbelief this week, and I'm feeling, you know, it's like you never saw this one coming. But your energy here, the challenge for you is whether or not to trust it or give to it. You know, so it could be a new partnership, or it could be somebody coming back around into your, you know, somebody wanting to do something over. But again, you're all fucking nuts. So maybe some of you, it's somebody that you swore off. You know, maybe some of you, you know, you're just accepting the craziness. There's nobody, you know, that's why my channel, judgment-free zone. I don't give a shit what you're doing. Just don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt anybody that, you know, well, you know, we're all just trying to make it by. But it does look like one of those weeks here where, but I can see that you really are protective of yourself. So let's see in love in particular. Four Swords. All right. Maybe some of you were taking some kind of break, or you were trying, because look at the fours here. It looks like you were recovering, or, you know, somebody went silent on you and you're kind of ready. It seems like you're ready for something new, or needing a break from someone, and maybe trying to reset and recoup for a new journey to start, healing from a broken heart. And then voila, somebody shows up. Now, this could be somebody new. So we're going to take a look at Aries through Pisces, because this could be an offer here, but it's a challenge whether or not you can trust it. Somebody may be trying to get your attention this week that's completely out of your norm, and you're not even sure they're your type. And they may even try and get your attention in some weird way. But this is where I feel like this could be something good. So this is why it's important that I look at each zodiac sign to see what kind of energy is coming through. Now with life, I see the Page of Cups. And I love this energy with you at life. You know, it feels like, you know, you just try and make it through. You give off a very youthful energy. There could be somebody new entering your life. You may start to feel like you can be a little bit more vulnerable and comfortable around your friends, your coworkers, you know, and, or you're starting to feel yourself shape up a little bit differently. You know, you're opening up a little bit more to other people in your friend world, not so much in your love world. It looks like somebody has kind of pushed you into a corner there. Right. So I do see a lot of love coming in, and somebody seeing you, and especially in life, people just love your innocence, your naivety, if you're gullible, or you just kind of give off a very playful, young energy. And you're deepening your connections. It seems people really like being around you. And again, this does look like there could be some new person this week coming in that may be of influence in your life. So what's the good coming in. I see the 10 of Cups. Getting together with family, getting together with somebody who really wants to see the whole thing with you. They want the full picture. Somebody real. Looks like your life is settling in how you envisioned. This could be the next step, first step, or it could be, you just know it's all coming together. I do see children around you this week, so there could be some important things happening with children. Even, maybe some of you struggling with some money this week, because that could be a challenge. 4 of Pentacles, you're needing to budget or buy something, or you don't have enough money to fix something. Where there's a will, there's a way. I see the 10 of Cups here. The good news talks about fixing something around the home or having enough money to provide, and an opportunity coming your way. Maybe you just don't see it. The 4 of Pentacles, you could be so worried or trying to control a situation so much that some of you are not seeing the opportunity that is coming your way to fix something, or it's behind the scenes working for you. Well, the 10 of Cups is showing you what's coming. What good is coming in is it's coming together. This vision that you have of your happy home, happy family. Now, how others this week could show up, and I'm seeing spicy, Ace of Wands, sparking up. Watch out for short fuses this week, especially if it's an ex coming back, especially if you know that it's somebody that makes broken promises or gets things started and then, shuts down, because I see silence here with the 4 of Swords. So this week you could be dealing with somebody that sparks things up, really is passionate about you, really wants to talk to you, has a lot of potential, very active, pursuing you, somebody pursuing you. And, and it feels good. But if it's somebody coming out of the silence, out of the hole, you just want to make sure that you get to the next step, especially if it's a do-over. We all can talk. We all can talk, but, in this energy, they may be very passionate, but they'll be pursuing you. It looks like people will be coming to you, pursuing you. But whether or not you can trust them, that's on you. All right. I am seeing, look at the Wheel of Fortune, the 7 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. I can see you want to. I see you want to trust this person, but it seems like it's gone around before or it's happened before. And just be mindful that it could happen again. It doesn't mean it will. Your advice, 3 of Cups, keep it light and casual this week. All right. So there could be people coming around you. Obviously this is a week of, when I say it's the energy of truth, it's just telling me that the transits that are happening, it doesn't mean every single transit's going to be true for you, but it is an energy this week of clarity and truth coming up. So you get to see something that, was foggy before, right? You get to see what somebody's real intentions are. So I am seeing, people around you, friends and family and colleagues and partner, and maybe a reconciliation, and keeping it light. You may plan something to go somewhere, especially with the Page of Pentacles, but again, you don't know if you can trust it. And this is saying it's okay to engage in it. Just keep it casual and light. Don't go throwing your heart into it or start thinking, is this my soulmate? It helps me out, but, just weigh everything out and take it light, take it slowly this week. So let's take a look at love. So here we go. You got somebody you're not sure you can trust. You don't know what's going on. It feels kind of awkward. It feels, what the heck, Maybe for some of you, it is a new person. Maybe for some of you, it's a returning ex who just is driving you mad, right? And you don't know if you can trust them. So let's see, Aries. I have a 7 of Pentacles, all right? This could go somewhere, but you need to think about it, It's like, is this really, are they your type? There could be something that you're questioning about an Aries. Or if some of you've been here, done it before, you're wondering if it's going to go anywhere. You could be thinking or talking about future plans together, because this could go somewhere. you know, this between the two of you, if we can work through some of our blocks. Taurus, the Chariot card. So Taurus is on a roll here. Taurus is ready to move forward and just following spirit, following God, right? It looks like they are very focused on coming in, returning, things getting better, things getting good. Hallelujah. Right? Gemini, 9 of Wands. Gemini looks a little beat up and rough, right? But they want to come back for another shot. You know, just be mindful. There's a lot of stress here. There's, but they're not giving up. It looks like they really want to pursue another shot. And so that some of these can be exes returning as well too. It doesn't have to be. It could be a person that you're currently just dealing with, you know. Cancer, the Hierophant. So it looks like Cancer either learned their lesson or is ready for commitment. You know, they're ready for it. They, you know, even before the pressure was on, but it looks like Cancer has figured things out or figured out what they really want, or you seem to be the one. Leo. Right, Leo also feeling good around you, feeling like they want to give to this, and maybe let's make a plan, let's talk things out, or let's renegotiate. Virgo, 9 of Pentacles. Virgo doing their thing. Virgo looking good. All right. So Virgo's available and Virgo's interested. They're not going to rush in. All right. They're going to take their time, but you guys get along well. I think there's potential there. Maybe you misread their independency as not interested. Libra, all about you. It looks like Libra spicing things up with you. The chemistry is there. You might plan something spontaneous this week. Scorpio, not really paying attention, kind of focusing on their own thing, doing their thing. They're busy, right? They got some things that going on, right? And sometimes they just are avoiding the world, you know. I've got other things to do. I don't have time right now. And that can be misread, just like the 9 of Pentacles. You know, these energies can be misread. These are people that are comfortable in their own skin and they don't need anything, or they're not ready for anybody else. But it doesn't mean they're not interested, but they have all the time in the world, right? They'll get to it when they can. Sagittarius, 7 of Wands. So you got some spice here with Sagittarius, some challenges coming in. Maybe you guys confronting a challenge, and you know, there's a possibility you can break down some of their barriers this week, but at the same time, you know, there is a barrier. So if you guys are constantly arguing or pushing each other's buttons, it's not changing. Capricorn, 4 of Wands. So you have somebody who wants to be home with you. Somebody who wants to build something with you, another Capricorn. But I am seeing the 4 of Wands here, even for you, where it's like somebody coming home, you know, wanting to return or want to build, you know, a relationship with you. Aquarius, things getting tough with an Aquarius. They could finally burn out or feel like you guys did all you could and it's time to move on. Pisces, finally making a difficult choice this week. So you'll get your answer with the Pisces. Yeah, that's it. I love you, Capricorn. I hope you enjoy your reading. Aquarius, July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle and then an energy. Look at love and Aries through Pisces. So we can see where everything is at. Let's see. Curiouser and curiouser. Discovery, inquiry, weirdness, and curiosity. So it's today you and Capricorn are really getting some unique energies. Discovering something about yourself this week, rediscovering something about yourself this week. Somebody could be inquiring about you. You could be inquiring about a job, something around your daily life, your work and your health. You know, and discovery, though, is the biggest word that's coming through here. So maybe there is something that you're trying to change or you're figuring out what the problem is, right? this could be the big reveal this week. You got weirdness too. So somebody could be acting weird around you this week. You could be acting weird. You just pay attention to some strange encounters, strange stuff. All right. There's something about it. You know, dive into it. Try and figure it out. Don't brush it off. Don't second guess yourself, Aquarius. Don't second guess yourself this week. If somebody's acting funny, if you're questioning, you know, we're all a little weird. Go back to Capricorn's energy. We're all a little crazy. We're all a little mad. But it doesn't, you know, mean you got to look at the intention. You know, is somebody's intentions, you know, if it feels like they're just, that's just them and that's natural, that it's harmless, fine. But if it's not harmless, you know, don't second guess yourself. Just kind of dig in a little bit this week, especially if something smells funny. You know, you might be the one that calls it out. You might be the one that helps somebody out. But also you may this week, I am seeing though too that there could be something coming back that used to help you, that something you used to do, something you used to say, maybe an old habit, old pattern that you're rediscovering too when it comes to yourself, and it's helping you throughout the week. And you might be going through some sort of reset too with all this. And the inquiry could be some new information coming your way this week that you're feeling pulled to check something out. So see where it takes you. Now, I did see, you're the only one I've done this to today, but the unknown, descent, momentum, and change, and fallen. So this is my one of my favorite cards in this deck, because you want to feel grounded, you want to feel rooted in the number 4 here, but yet some of you maybe can't tell whether you're up or down, you know, how much space, you know, where you're going. And there's a lot changing here, you know, and it can feel like you're falling, but you're not. All right. So things could get a little bit weird, and maybe you're feeling unstable. So this is where something could happen this week that brings out, you know, a sign or an old habit or something that you used to do that makes you feel a little bit more grounded, or things start to become a little bit more stable, or at least signs of it. So let's take a look at your energy for the week. Ooh, all right. So this just came out, all right. Now, the Moon card, the 10 of Wands, and the Lovers card. So it really does look like you've been going through some pressure with relationships, with conversation. You know, the Moon card, just, you know, every time you try to have the talk, every time you try to move forward, every time you want to move forward, you know, the talk gets heavy. Somebody could run, you know, there's anxiety, there's panic. Maybe some of you even in a panic mode right now. You know, you want somebody in your life, the Moon, the Lovers. It's like you dream about it, you have a vision, but darkness takes over, and you start to wonder, am I going to be doing everything alone or carrying everything on my own? So I can see this weird energy and this heavy energy of not knowing which direction you're going in, and if anybody's going to be there to catch you when you fall, right, or to help you out. Because the 10 of Wands, you might be feeling like, you know, you've been doing life on your own, you carry all the burdens, and you know, you just don't have anybody to talk to, anybody. But also, Aquarius, are you somebody that will open up and let somebody in too? Do you trust enough? Because the Moon card can be, you know, you just, you know, you got to see proof all the time before you let your guards down. You got to know what's really happening and how much you can really trust somebody before you let your guards down. And that can be a huge block, right? And the Moon card can be very deceptive, and you could even be deceptive to other people, you know, not realizing that you try to carry all your feelings inside, you try to hide everything inside, so another person doesn't get to see who you really are, and that can be deceptive. You know, it's like you want somebody to show up for you, but until they do, you're going to carry everything and hide everything and keep it inside, internal, and not let somebody know how deeply you feel and how something, but that is working against you in some ways, you know. because it's a two-way street. You're being super protective. But I get it. Some of you may have been dealing with somebody who keeps repeating the same cycle, or just several different relationships. And sometimes you just get so protective. Look, you're talking to a Scorpio here. Get so freaking protective that you pull back and you're like, yeah, you do have to prove it to me. I'm sorry. If you really love me, prove it to me, right? But I do see that maybe you do need to soften up just a little bit. Look, I have to do the work too. Soften up a little bit, especially if somebody new is trying to enter your life. I see Cancer, I see Pisces energy and Gemini energy trying to come in. You have the Seven of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck, and so this is too what you're going down a new path, but we're taking a left turn or a right turn here. You know, we're bored, we're stuck, we feel like nothing's happening, we're reviewing all our choices, doing, you know, but this is where you're kind of doing a review right now, and you're needing to change something up. So there are tweaks that need to happen right now in order to stabilize your life, your relationship moving forward. Nine of Wands, there you are. You're like almost over it. What's your biggest challenge? The Seven of Cups. Nothing seems solid. Nothing seems, you just got fogginess around you. You just keep feeling like there's all kinds of possibilities. I think about things, but I don't have the strength, or I'm not sure, or I don't trust that it's going to be, stable. I have all these opportunities, all these options, and the Nine of Wands. So I've done it before. I've been here before. I don't want to do it again. It's almost like you're losing kind of interest too. And, you don't want to make a choice because you don't want to get fully hurt. So you are the one that kind of seems like you're up in the air, keeping your options open to play it safe in a way. But life might be getting to you right now with the 9 and the 10 of Wands showing up for you, that it's looking like it's getting time where you've got to start picking something, doing something, making a plan to bring your life together. Let's see in love, the Hierophant, and life. Let's see the Six of Cups. So, it looks like your life and love are connected. It looks like you've spent a lot of time connecting with somebody from the past. You have a good history with somebody. Maybe some of you were married. Maybe some of you have gone through a divorce. Maybe some of you taking on the world by yourself right now. You have a lot of good friends. You have a lot of good past history here with the Six of Cups. You have love and support around you, and a lot of people that have always tried to show up for you. This week in life, there could be an old friend coming back around. But in love, it's a matter of, I feel like everybody hates when I say this, but this is the number one truth. Values. Right out the gate, what are your top 5 values when it comes to a relationship? If your person in love is not meeting those values, you're constantly living in this energy here of, will they choose me? Why won't they choose me? Why am I always kind of left up in the air? I'm afraid to be vulnerable. I'm afraid. So you're afraid. But are you connecting with people who share the same values as you? Or are you or your person afraid of commitment? I sometimes think it's the people that come to the video that are afraid of commitment more than your person is. I think you chase people who lack or fear commitment because it's easier for you to stay out of a commitment. Does that make sense? You don't want to get hurt. You want to play it safe. And so I'm going to chase after somebody who's not available. But deep down, it feels like you really want the one. So we'll look at Aries through Pisces and see what's coming through for each one of these. I mean, you can't keep carrying all the weight on your own. Even the first 3 cards that came out, the Lover, the Moon, and the 10 of Wands, like you really want to let somebody in. What's the good stuff coming in? Ace of Cups. Love is trying to knock on your door. The real love. Real love's trying to knock on your door. This could be a gift from somebody this week. This could be a child announcement, some kind of announcement. You know, it's a birth announcement, but it's also the birth of a relationship, an emotional relationship. And even with that 6 of Cups, it does look like this week could be the week where something from the past shows up. Now, something from the past, like I said in the beginning, an old habit, old, you know, person, anything like that, it could be part of that whole thing too. So you have love trying to come in. Well, how are others showing up for you? Ace of Swords. People bringing you the truth, the plain truth. This week, people speaking the truth to you. People, it could be one person, it could be several people who are just telling you how it is. Maybe you are kind of walking around in a cloud. Maybe they can tell that you feel like you're all over the place, or you're just not feeling as stable as you usually do. You might not notice it. Other people can see things you can't. You know, if you're running around doing things, or you're kind of like a bull in a china shop, or you just don't seem like, I can tell when my friends are a little bit off. They could be acting as cool as a cucumber. I can tell. Other people might be calling you out this week, saying things to you. Just listen to what they're saying, because I will say that, Aquarius, you got a lot of love here. And the Hierophant too here. So you got people that really value you, really care about you. So if somebody says, hey, remember when you used to, you know, go to the gym? You remember when you used to dance? Remember when you used to play this album? Whatever it is, it could be their way of saying words that are triggering you, because they want to see you. They want to see who they remember, right? The memories they have with you, especially if you haven't been, you know, yourself because of a situation lately. You know, you may get news from somebody. You got 2 aces here. You may get news from a boss. You may get news from, you know, a job, a new job. You may get news from around health this week, you know, that clears things up for you. So your advice, the 5 of Wands, one, you know, quit fighting it. Whatever is draining you, whatever is aggravating you, whatever you're complaining about, Aquarius, even if nobody else hears it, you know, confront it this week, you know, and whatever challenge that you have. And you know, this is also my, you know, just stop fighting it, and don't get aggravated or triggered if somebody does say something to you this week. And it could go reversal too. Like all the messages I'm saying could be, you know, I know some of you, but that's a deflection too. Remember that when you automatically come to a reading and you're like, oh, it's everybody else around me. I've learned myself that I could be deflecting, because a message in your reality is here for you, although it is possible. So it could be that people are getting triggered by what you're saying too, but you're meaning well. If that's the case, just always come from a place of vulnerability and love, and always remind somebody that, hey, I'm not trying to be bossy. I'm not trying to frustrate you, aggravate you. I'm not trying to make you mad. I'm really trying to help you, because this card here can be like, let's get things going. Let's fix this. Let's get on the same team here. Together we can make it work. We have this, you know, this drive, this need to freaking make it work. So you could be doing that too, helping somebody else along this week. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. There could be somebody from your past that you commit with. That does show me that. Somebody from the past revealing themselves. And this is also showing me, though, somebody really trying to love on you, somebody wanting to see you, somebody who shares the same affection for you that you have for them. So we'll see it in the Aries through Pisces, all right? And if it doesn't show up, there could be something else going on. So Aries, the Hermit card. All right, so long distance with an Aries, or there's been a long time, you know, between the two of you. But they could be thinking about reaching out, or thinking about the good old days with you. I am still seeing there's distance between the two of you, though. Taurus, also, I'm seeing, you know, you just got to take it one step at a time. Things, You know, maybe you guys are checking out for a little bit to do some repairs. You know, right now it could be you're focusing, maybe in the future you guys will reconcile. It could take, it's a time, these two are timing issues, right? It just seems like right now might not be the right time. Gemini, looking like they're wanting to hang out, talk to you, help you out, all right, paying back a debt, or putting more effort in. You know, the sixes with Gemini. And Gemini came up with the Lovers. Cancer, there, you know, things could finally, you know, it is what it is. We learned our lesson, kind of, we still care about each other, but it's time to move on with Cancer. Leo has nothing but love for you. So I think Leo this week could be a little bit more emotional and letting you know how they truly feel. They feel very comfortable with you. Virgo not telling you everything just yet, but they know they have deeper feelings for you. They could be just holding back, waiting for the right moment, trying to keep an eye on you. Libra, Nine of Pentacles, wanting to live the single life. I mean, if the right time comes around, the right moment, if they feel pretty stable or they feel like, you know, things could work, they definitely would be in. They're ready, you know, but this is also somebody too that it's like I live over here. I live in my own house. I do my own thing, you know. So I see the outcome could be very successful here. Scorpio, the Hanged Man. All right, Scorpio kind of taking a time out. Things are kind of quiet between the two of you, and maybe they're just not going anywhere right now. You might have to reconsider that one. And Sagittarius, it's growing. You guys, they seem to be very attracted to you. They love being around you. You feel good, and things are always growing even behind the scenes. Capricorn, Five of Pentacles, you know, the complaining. They complain, you complain, whatever it is, or they're struggling with their problems. They just focus on that, focus on the problems, and it's wearing you guys down. It doesn't mean you guys can't turn things around, but as long as, you know, you're focused on the issues at hand, which most people do get caught up in this, it's going to drain the energy, It's going to drain the relationship. So whoever it is, we need to somehow turn it into a Six of Pentacles, you know. Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, Knight of Wands. So Aquarius, yay. It looks like the energy could really spice up, you know, get fiery this week. You and another Aquarius, you guys are like, let's go our own way. All right. You guys have a lot of fun together. And Pisces, Justice card. So guilt could weigh on them. They could be wanting to say something to you. You will get some sort of truth maybe from a Pisces this week. All right. I love you guys. Pisces, July 13th through July 19th. Let's get an oracle and then look at the week ahead, the energy main challenge, what to watch for in love and life. Plus, I do a deep dive into Aquarius through Pisces for you in love. Impossible Things is your oracle, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, and fresh perspective. Wow. All right. So you got butterflies, unicorns here showing up, fairies showing up, and this is perfect for your sign because, you know, most of the time that's like, you know, living in fantasy land, living in our imagination. And some of, you know, a lot of people pin Pisces with the delusion. I got a lot of Pisces. All right, guys. So, you know, but here it feels like maybe one of those dreams coming true this week, right? And people kind of looking at you like, wow, maybe you are onto something because you got unicorns coming in. You know, this is where don't give up on certain things, right? You know, I mean, there are times when to throw the towel in. I get it. Granted, right? It can't be affecting our lives or, you know, our dreams and our imagination and our hopes. We don't ever have to kill that part of us. You know, we live in that world, but we also have to learn to live in this world too. And as long as it's not holding you back, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I don't believe so. And here it's where one of these, you know, maybe this week you might even throw yourself off and be like, wow, I really thought I was just in fantasy land. But something really did happen. Now, this could be with life, daily life situations, relationships, something that you want. Maybe going from point A to point Z, you really don't have to take 15 steps to get to what you want. It just happens overnight. You know, there's some sort of upgrade that just happens magically, you know, and a lot of people have to take certain steps or it's harder for somebody, but for you, you're getting sort of an advancement this week. And it could be maybe spiritual, right? But it could be financial. Let's see. Let's take a look. Just this week, your title is Impossible Things Can Happen. You know, you didn't see, you know, and working through disbelief too can just, you know, keep in mind, I'm always trying to give you examples of what to look for because everybody comes to these readings, it seems, with one thing they're looking for and they're not seeing some of these other things that might sideswipe. But this could also be even, you know, you did not expect somebody to say something or do something and somebody could throw you off, you know, like you really think you have somebody pinned, Pisces. You just, this is who this person is. This is what I think of them. And then all of a sudden you see a side to them that just glares right out in front of you that you can't not see. And it can be a beautiful thing, you know. And even with the retrogrades, it can be somebody from the past that just all of a sudden, you know, look at this, the Fool card, you know, surprises you, shows up, right? So this week is new experiences and putting one foot forward without needing to know the entire plan and going with where the energy is taking you. So let's see. I have to look at the truths coming in. The romance, the relationship, the verdict, the truth, seeing something clear. You know, this is the Kazemi Mercury retrograde, and I do in Neptune, all this energy that's going on right now, the new moon coming in. Watery energy, I just feel like we're feeling a little bit more clear. That's me. That's me feeling it. I've got so much water. I'm like, all right, this energy, I'm actually seeing things for what they are. And so there's the news, there's the possibilities coming in. There's the text, there's the job application that gets approved. There's the application for a home that gets approved, right? And this is a new chapter. So what's any challenges, if any? And I see that the tenant leaving the past in the past, that might be a challenge this week. Moving on from the past. So this thing that's happening this week, this new start could actually be a couple different things. It could be you absolutely never thinking that you could move on from somebody, but somebody new comes into your life, or you talk, or you know, the challenge is, can I not bring up the past? Can we restart after everything that's happened? So there's a genuine kind of do-over here that could happen. Getting remarried, talking about getting remarried, even after everything you've been through. But the challenge is, can we move on? You know, and then the challenge also for you is to believe in the truth that might be showing up, that somebody really could possibly have picked themselves up and is ready. And you know, that's the beautiful thing. It's like that does happen. There are stories where that happens, but it's not happening for everybody. Somebody could really be speaking their truth, right? Really saying, you know, I understand now. I get it. I missed you. Let's get the help. Let's do whatever. So in love, Four of Pentacles, let's rebuild. Let's build something reliable. Somebody here, you're still building. Somebody still wants to support this connection. But now, even if this is, I don't want to get stuck on a specific. The challenge, Ten of Swords, rebuilding after a huge breakup that may have nothing to do with you, Pisces. You may be going through, or you have, you're rebuilding again. This is something new for somebody else. All right. It's like, I want to build something really stable. Somebody may confirm this with you this week. Somebody here, this is where the garden, the soil is laid out. This is where the seeds, you're watering, you're continuing to grow, you've got the base down, right? So somebody is devoted to this. Somebody's devoted to you. Somebody's very protective of you. Now in life, the Three of Wands, it does seem like you're going through some push right now that is trying to push you to extend yourself outside of your comfort zone. You're getting ready to expand. Things are coming together. Show up, keep showing up. This is a process that may take months to kind of unfold for you. But this, if you've been sitting in a period wondering when your time is coming, it looks like you're coming up to that marker, which says, we're getting ready to grow, make some changes in our life. And things can still kind of be restless right now, especially as things are coming together, because there's a lot of things going on around you, a lot of people, a lot of connections, and we're just trying to make it work here. So life, you have a lot of things going on. I wouldn't make any huge changes to everyday things, right now with this energy that's going on. But the main focus seems to be clear. Something's going to come in this week that is, maybe somebody does want to return, or maybe somebody is ready to go to that next step. It doesn't matter. We'll look at Aries to Pisces, whoever you're dealing with. All right. But that's what I'm seeing. So the good stuff coming in, Knight of Swords, right? So a lot of information that could change the direction of your path, right? This is making some quick decisions. This restless energy that you might be dealing with, clearing up. There's a knowing when it comes to love. There's an upgrade when it comes to life. You may be moving pretty quick, moving on and stepping up in different communities. You might level up, be living, getting some land, or living in a new way because of somebody else. You may be purchasing, or I just see a huge upgrade for you, and things moving pretty quickly. So somebody add in finances to your life, somebody add in a home to your life, or somebody here that is offering more stability in your life. This can also be some health stuff too, that is, getting to the root of the problem this week. How do others show up for you? The Hierophant. So somebody's ready. Others are kind of showing up for you on the same page as you. There's gratitude, there's devotion, there's loyalty, there's commitment, there's patience, because somebody really values you. The people around you really care about you, really support you. You have a Taurus energy showing up. So maybe there's a Taurus, a Gemini coming into your life. Any advice for you? The Empress card. All right. So this is feeling abundant, finding yourself, feeling beautiful, feeling magnetic, taking care of yourself, and knowing your worth here too, because obviously somebody is feeling really good around you and ready. This is, to me, feels like you're about to manifest something into your life that is going to make you feel like a queen. Right. So I'm labeling it the impossible. Maybe some of you feeling like this dream is never going to come true. Remember, you know, living in your head, living in your imagination. Don't give up on the dream. Even if this is your dream, you know, life just completely changing and you feeling like $1,000,000, right? This is a dream. This is an abundant dream. Don't give up on it if it doesn't happen this week. You still live your life. You still build your foundation. It shows that you are. But for some of you, this could be that week where that dream is coming true. All right, a lot of growth here with the Empress card. So let's look at Aries through Pisces and see what's happening with each zodiac sign. Who's wanting to build with you? Who's wanting to go to the next step? Aries, the Temperance card. All right, so things naturally progressing with you and an Aries. They're feeling it. They're feeling this is Aries energy too. So I feel like maybe some of you already know that things are kind of happening. You really feel good about where the direction is going. Taurus, it looks like Taurus here is very strong for you too. Taurus getting ready to say something to you, to make the plan, to call you. Gemini, Knight of Wands, it looks like Gemini very much excited about the possibilities of this relationship. Some of these could be new people popping into your life, Pisces. All right, so you got good energy with Gemini. Cancer, Ace of Wands, that's another ace coming in for you. So Cancer, seeing the light, seeing the potential. Leo, also Leo here kind of bouncing back and forth, so you know, getting ready to make a decision about this connection. A lot of new energy with the twos and aces. You're getting ready to grow. You're getting ready to move forward. Virgo, Lover's card, making a choice this week. They're falling in love or they're in love with you. Libra, also making plans for the future. So you guys kind of continuing to move forward. Scorpio, Six of Cups, right? So reunion or just realizing that you guys really feel the same. You really feel like soulmates. Sagittarius, you know, Sagittarius in this case, I feel like you guys feel very comfortable with each other. You guys could really build something. They're very loyal, and maybe maybe you feel like they haven't been focused on you or they've been avoiding, but they could have been really thinking about the next step with you. Capricorn, the Page of Wands. So Capricorn feeling alive with you, feeling connected with you, really feeling inspired to reach out to you. Aquarius, you got a lot of aces. You're getting all the aces today. So Aquarius here, opening up their heart. They're feeling an emotional connection with you. And Pisces, look at the Star card for you. This actually just absolutely says it all. I mean, your faith is really, you know, what's at play here. Your imagination, your faith, your dreams, your goals, I mean, they're coming true. Do not give up on your wish, you know, follow your dreams. But at the same time, I'm going to do the disclaimer again, because this happens with Pisces or people like myself with a lot of Pisces energy. We can't get lost up there. We still got to live our life practically and grounded, and not, you know, just hope and wish and stay stuck wishing upon that star. You know, it's more about knowing, Pisces. You got to really know it. It's happening. It's going to be here. I don't care when, how, it's going to be here. And you and another Pisces, you know, maybe you're dreaming and thinking about the same thing. So it looks like things could turn out really well with you and another Pisces. I love you guys. Take care.